Alright, everybody, welcome to the second part of the Vendetta Set review, hosted by the Logic Knot and Ritualo, aka Rodney. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, we're continuing where we left off last time. We were just filming, it was like 2:30 in the morning, and we figured that we better cut it in half so that we can get back to our normal stuff. But we're going to start with the body domain today. We will be starting with Jace, Hammer in Hand. This is going to be one of the champion units for the new Jace Legend. And it is 4 power, 1 energy. Or is it 4 energy, 1 power? 5 might.
4 energy, 1 power.
4 energy, 1 power. 5 might. When it becomes ready, choose one. This turn, it either gets Assault 2, Deflect 2, or Ganking. We're not going to be doing the go to the trash thing this time around. We're just going to be hopping right into the discussion and giving a star rating. So I think this card is like pretty medium. I think it's probably just the default for the Jace deck. How about you?
It's actually the this is actually better in like the orange domain decks like Master Yi and Mbessa,
Oh,
and
that's
not so
reasonable.
good
Yeah,
in the actual Jace deck itself, in my opinion. Surprisingly.
that's fair. I do think the Jace deck is viable, and that makes me want to play either this or the other for Power 1. But, like, you're right. It does have, like, a lot of good words on it, which is really all Master Yi looks for, right? Sorry, you were saying?
I was saying a turn 2 Dazzling Aurora is very strong, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. That's also true. I could do this instead of Dazzling. Or I could do this, or I could put a Dazzling Aurora into play. Like, what would I rather do? um, that being said, I mean, this card... I think its biggest issue is that it doesn't maintain these keywords during your opponent's turn, specifically the deflect keyword. I think deflect is really important to have on defense and significantly less important on offense. I think I'd give this card... For me, this card is like a 2 out of 5, even though I do think it's like okay. How about you?
When it first came out, I was pretty hyped for it, but like in actual practicality, there's better 4 drops without a power cost.
I am inclined to agree. Like when I think of the Master Yi deck, I think of like Master Yi himself, the four drop one.
The 4 drop, yeah, the one from last time.
I think I'd probably just play that first. And then like I don't know, the recycle costs on your 4 drops feel so rough. Recycle costs on anything that costs less than 5 feel like really tough to justify. You know what I mean?
Like if it was a 4 without the power, but then a 4 might, that would have been way better. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
straight up.
they had
Hmm.
to balance some way.
Yeah, I guess. All right, moving on. We've got Gangplank Naval. I'm going to take the lead on this card. This is a 6 power unit. It has 6 might. Has empower for 2 energy. And when it's empowered, if a spell or ability that chooses me would stun me, give me minus might, or return me to hand. Instead, I gain plus 3 might. I think this card is actually potentially super good. I am excited to try and test this card in a few decks that I've been playing already. And I don't know if you... And my reasoning is that I've been playing Ruin Runner a lot, and I think Ruin Runner is one of the better cards in the format. And I think this card does 90% of a Ruin Runner. And while it does cost 2 energy, it is slightly bigger, and it has almost better upside, right? How about you?
Oh, I love this card. This card's so good in Master E, and then and like I said in Bessa again, like all these mid range decks.
Yeah.
Fiora and Set really love it as well. Oh my bad, Alchemy.
It's
But the one downside is that it's really good against purple, against chaos,
mhm.
but against blue it still loses out to like singularity, and then against red it loses to falling star.
Mhm.
But like that's the only reason why it's like not as good as Rune Runner in certain cases.
Mhm.
But against purple, like if your meta is full of Diana, um,
Ezreal.
Ezreal, like that kind of stuff, like this card is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
there's no way for them to deal with it.
Well, there is one issue with it, and this is one of the reasons why, even though I'm excited about this card, I don't have the actual highest rating on it. And it's that Starcrossed is really popular, and you can react to empowering it.
Yeah, of course,
Which I think
absolutely.
is like a legitimate problem, especially against those decks, because those decks are pretty good at holding up mana to try and interact it at instant speed, right? Um, but like I think this card has a lot of potential. Um, and if it does end up that like blue and red are in the same place where they are now, I think this card is probably in the same conversation as Ruin Runner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, the best time to play it is gonna be when you're obviously when purple isn't able to, be able to star-cross it, because like having
Of
three
course.
up is pretty telegraph.
No,
The
agree.
one benefit this card does have is that you can be at 6, play the 6, and then empower him for 2 power. Like, not be like a lot of empower cards are like you
Wait.
empower for the same energy
Yeah.
costs, but the fact that he's just power is actually kind of like significant.
I agree. It is important that the card is able to be almost by default able to be empowered the turn you play it. I'm also kind of excited about playing it in like Renekton potentially, um, just because it reads as a card that like unlike a lot of the other cards that are trying to do Renekton things, actually puts you 2/4 runes in play. Um, Beyond that though, I think because of the potential downside and because Ruin Runner already exists, I'm giving this card a 3 out of 5. Even though I do want to try it out.
I would give it a 4. It's been testing pretty well in a lot of builds that I've been playing for orange.
All right.
Like, it's not the best card. It's not the worst card, but it's definitely better than the average. So I think like 4 is a good spot for it for me.
I will also say I have a feeling in the future the tags might matter, Bilgewater and Pirate, um, just because like we haven't had a lot of typal things beyond Poro so far, and like I think Pirate is one of the first things they might want to lean into because of previous League of Legends lore stuff. But anyways, moving on. We've got Dame the Despoiler. This one costs 5 energy. That is 5 might. It empowers for 5 more energy and 1 power. And while it's empowered, when it attacks or defends, you choose a unit there. Increase my might to its might this turn. Then give me +1. Um, I think this card is like basically limited filler. I think it's just too expensive to get the effect. Where are you at?
Like, uh, played with it yet?
Okay,
Because I just never needed to. It's just like it's kind of
it's just slow, right? Like,
yeah, it's just too it's
yeah,
too. So like I said,
yeah.
the whole problem we were talking about, or why Gangplank is so good, is that
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have the same power cost to empower it,
Mm-hmm.
or the same energy cost to empower it. Like this card is the complete opposite. It's
Yeah,
just
costs a million billion energy. All right,
it,
moving
it
on.
takes 2
Oh,
turns to set up, and it's like really bad.
yeah, 2 turns and still requires you to recycle something. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one. I'm actually gonna give this one a 1 out of 5. I think it's a trap card because the empowered ability looks so powerful, but I think it's less powerful than it appears. So it kind of incentivizes you to do bad things.
You just don't need it,
Yeah. All right. Move next card. We've got Corrupted Dragon. This card is 10 energy, 2 power for a 10 might unit. If your score is not within 3 points of the victory condition, it enters ready. When it attacks, you may move any number of enemy units here with 5 might or less to its base. Each with 5 might or less to its base. I think this card is interesting for a few reasons. First is that it's not actually a good Aurora card. Um, Second is that I'm not actually sure this card is bad. I actually kind of like this card for some of the dragon decks if they're viable. I think this is actually a decent payoff.
Yeah, I was testing with this card in Dragons as well. It's solid. It's actually pretty good. Like I said, it has doesn't have a lot of synergy with Aurora, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
That they're putting out, strong units that
Don't.
don't need Aurora, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank God.
Um, I mean, its second effect is kind of whatever, but the first effect is great.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
fact that it gets to come in ready.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like you can still like play a ramp style and not need to play Dazzling Aurora.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And like also like especially like Volibear dragons, you can chain off a lot of different dragons that are like gem. I think it was like the gem one where you get to like restand
Restand a
runes and
couple
stuff.
runes. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can do some shenanigans there. So I love the potential on this card. The two power kind of sucks, but if
Mm.
in the decks that you're playing it, it's not gonna matter much because you're gonna be generating a lot of power anyway.
Yeah,
So
for sure. It shouldn't hurt too bad. I would give this card. I'm actually giving this card a 3 out of 5. I think this card is like actually fairly playable.
I think
It's
three
just
is
that the
good.
deck might not be great.
Yeah, I said I agree with you. I think three is a perfect number for it.
All right, perfect. Let's move on to Jagged Cutlass. This is a gear. It is an equipment. It costs 3 energy. It equips for a body rune, and the text that it gives the unit it's equipped to is I can't be moved by enemy spells and abilities, and it gains +2 might. I almost want to say this is a sideboard card. What's your read here?
This card could have been so good if it just said I couldn't be targeted by enemy spells and abilities.
Also true,
Just
but
if
hot take.
if it got the Rude Runner.
As fun as funny as that sounds right now, as somebody who comes from card games where that is an effect that is routinely printed, I really appreciate that they have not done that beyond Ruin Runner. Like, it is so annoying to play against a deck that's just a pile of cards that you can't do
Just
anything about.
can't interact with.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a straight up just like, hey, do you play, like, is your entire strategy able to beat this, or are you not allowed to win the game anymore? Like,
Hmm.
playing Ruin Runner against like those blue purple decks might feel gratifying if you're the Ruin Runner player, because usually the rest of your deck is pretty weak. But I think it's inarguable that those are really stupid games where you just play a Ruin Runner and you just can't lose the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Unless you can beat over it, but
Like,
orange
it.
punch for it is so bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. That being said, I think this card is not quite good enough. I would
It's
give it like a
not.
2 out of 5.
It could have been.
I could.
If only movement included moving to your hand,
Yeah,
this would be better. But the fact that's not a thing. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.
I could still see it being a utility piece in like some really equipment focused strategy. Specifically, again, I'm thinking about Lucian just because I play the deck so much. I could see a world where I sideboard this card if green is like super duper powerful. But I agree. I think this is a 2. Let's see. We've got Hex Tech Disc. This is a 4 energy Lum Power gear. It says exhaust it to empower it, and then you can disempower it and pay an energy, exhaust it, play a 3 might mech unit token to your base. I don't think this card is really doing as much as it feels like it should be doing. I think the biggest benefit to this card is the fact that the empower cost is basically nil, so it gets the synergies online really easily, if that makes any sense. Does that track for you?
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
I'm not sure if the synergies are good enough, though. I think of like the Mbessa deck is the big one, right? This makes your Mbessa really easy to use every other turn or every turn, regardless of what it may be. But it just doesn't seem like it's a powerful enough card, and the payoffs I don't think are powerful enough for you to just want to play this card that's like generically kind of poor, and like a lot of cards with the 4 energy cost, you put a power on the cost and it just gets so much worse, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
you
think,
can't even play it in the deck that it like wants to play mechs into. It's kind
yeah,
of
that's
funny.
the other thing. It's like not playable in Rumble, right? Like, um, it's not playable. Well, I guess now it's playable in a gear synergy deck because like Jace is a gear
Yeah,
synergy deck, but it's not good with the Jace cards, at least as far as I can tell. Like,
yeah,
the only thing that I see it doing is like, I guess Jace means you get to make a mech unit every turn, but I don't even know if that's good enough. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I've seen like people talk about like a unitless Jace deck where you're just playing a bunch of gears
Mm-hmm.
that generate like tokens and units, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it tracks.
Yeah,
I
it's
could say
kind
that
of
and all of
gimmicky.
a sudden it's broken, but no,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
All right. I think I'm gonna give this card a 2 out of 5. I do see some potential here, but I think it's way too obfuscated. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Oh, this is a card. I'm not sure where I'm at on this card. This is Wild Claw. It costs 7 energy, 1 power. It says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may banish a unit or gear from among them and play it, reducing its energy cost by 5. Recycle the rest. Then you
Just
may do
costs
this
so
and power it.
much.
Hmm?
It costs so. It should have just been a 5 in energy because you're reducing the card by 5.
Yeah.
The fact that it's 7, like you can't even like on turn, like on your Dazzling Aurora turn, you can't even play this card to play Dazzling Aurora.
I think what this card is really asking you to do is to try and find a card that's good enough. Sorry. I think this card is asking you to find a card with an empower cost that's restrictive enough to want to be found by this card, but it just doesn't look at enough cards, and it's still probably just. I don't know. I think it just lacks power. I think this is like a lessons learned version of the card. What's the Jace card? Premonition, promising future, right? I feel
Yeah.
like this is like a fixed version of that before we've even seen the good version be played. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Which
And the
it,
fact that you still have to pay the costs too for the card that you pick,
yeah,
or you're only reducing it by 5. Like, it's just it could have been so much better if they just if you're allowed to play it for free
and what it really reads is
and
you're
empower it.
increasing it by 2 in a power, right? Because that's how much more you have to pay for this card.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like the empower has to be worth 2 in a power, and it has to be in the top 5, and you have to feel good about it. It's just too many knobs that
So,
don't work.
yeah.
Yeah. I would actually give this card a 1 out of 5. I'm like pretty confident this card is like not good until they print a card that's like has some type of stupid busted empower ability, and then this card is playable until that card is like made illegal or rotates out or whatever. But right now I'm very confident in saying this card does not work.
I don't see it either.
All right. Let's see. We got Brutal Hunter. This is a 3 power, 1 energy, or sorry, 3 energy, 1 power unit. It has 4 might. It has empower for 3 energy. And while it's empowered, it has +2 in ganking. I think this is just a limited card. I don't see this card seeing very much play. I would just give it a
Yeah,
2 out of 5.
I'm not very impressed with this card. The power just kind of is such a turn off.
Yeah,
It has good
exactly.
stats though. 3 for 4 is great stats.
Yeah,
And then if you empower it, it goes up to 6. Or it goes up to 6 with ganking. So it's not terrible, but
it's not terrible, but I still
also
don't think
just
it's really making the cut. It's also in a weird color for to be so aggressive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fretful Feline. This is a limited card. It is 6 energy, 5 might. When I become ready, give me +2 might. I don't think this card is doing anything. I feel good in just saying we'll skip this. 2 out of 5, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it in your limited deck. It's cute. It's a cat. Doesn't go in Ivern somehow. You know.
You can't even put it in Ivern.
Yeah,
Ivern's
exactly.
orange.
Like you can't put it in the cat
Yeah.
deck.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
What are we doing here? All right. This card is interesting to me. Got a reward, 2 energy, action. Give a unit +2 this turn. If it's empowered, give it +4 instead. If there were, I think this card actually might have some potential. Specifically in the Renekton deck again. Orange doesn't have a bunch of these type of buff effects, and they're kind of weak in general outside of Punch First. I think this card like is potentially very okay, and I'm excited to at least try it out. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not great, but I would like to experiment with it. Your
I
thoughts?
just think Grim's Resolve is just better.
Yeah, that's the +3 might one, right? That gives you
Yeah,
experience or
as I
something.
say, they're both action speed, and you
Mm-hmm.
get a 3 all across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, how often are you empowered, like on a non-reaction
Mm-hmm.
timing? How often are your empowered units? Will you need the extra 1 might? You know what I mean?
Sure. No, that's. I think that's the other side of the argument, and I also somewhat agree with that. I want to give this a 3 out of 5, but I'm pretty sure
Reaction
this is
speed,
just a
it'd
2
be
out of
so
5.
much better.
Oh, if it's reaction speed, I think Riot with this card is kind of telling us that one of the color identities of body is that you can have some amount of buff cards, but none
But
of them
none
are
of
going to be reactive. Like they're all going to be basically actions. They can be powerful actions, but they don't want you to be able to be reactive with these cards. They want you to be proactive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or else it'd be a little too strong against Spellslinger decks.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if these cards are reactions, they're automatically like way way better. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just how they work. Whoa, we're going too far. Okay. Next up, we have Legion Marauder. I actually think this card is interesting, huh?
This card's nuts.
Yeah, right. Like it's not just me. This card's good. Like,
This card's
it's
very good.
two energy, two might. It has empower for either an energy or a power, and empowered it just gives it +1 might. But it's just such a good enabler for any of your empower synergies, and it's just so strong going second, right?
It's cards like this that enable loops and infinites and stuff. Like
Oh, also
there's
true.
already
Yeah.
an
hmm
infinite combo with Jace with this and accelerate.
Acceleration gate or something.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at that at all, honestly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's like a empowered depower unit that I think we're gonna get to in this color that I'm also kind of excited about. But I also think this card is not only good in like setting up loops potentially because of how low its costs are. I think this card is also like potentially a generically good unit because it's so big on the draw. And I know Riot has been working, or at least I feel like Riot has been working to try and fix the going second problem in this game. And this card seems like a good thing to have in your deck if you ever plan to go second. Not that you would choose that, but you're allowed to, huh?
For ramp decks, it's fantastic too.
Oh my god, it's so
It's like a
good
better
at that.
Dragon Soul.
Yeah, yeah,
or,
no.
or Dragon Soul Sage.
It's absurd. It's just so strong. Okay, moving on to Plateworm Egg. This is a sorry, wait. I forgot my rating. I'm giving Legion Marauder a 4 out of 5. By the way, I think this card is a legitimate card. I am excited to play this.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh, were you looking at Plateworm Egg the entire time?
I was looking at Plateworm Egg. My bad,
brother. I'm looking at Legion Marauder, the goat card.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. Sorry. Let me save what I said for Plateworm Egg but for Legion Marauder, I think this card is great. Also,
I think this card is good. Yeah, like
yeah. This card is fantastic.
Yeah,
like, it's just I think an orange staple going forward for a lot of decks. It's so good.
Just any mid-range deck that wants something to do on turn one because you're required to do something on turn one against aggro decks, right?
Yeah.
And
then my thoughts about Plateworm Egg apply that in now. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
The part that enables all the all the loops and there's currently an OTK with this with Jace, or an infinite combo with Jace with this too, and it's just cards like this is not very healthy for the game, in my opinion. But
I understand a lot of why they just. First of all, card 3 energy gear Plateworm Egg enters exhausted. It empowers itself by tapping one and tapping it, by exhausting itself and paying 1 energy. This card's ability is reaction exhaust me, add 1 energy. If it's empowered, you get 2 energy. It makes a lot of sense that you're talking about loops with this card. Yes, this card is absolutely the type of card that allows you to do loops because anything that taps for more than 1 resource, even though this game is based off of getting 2 resources a turn, at least opens the door to talk about potentially untapping it, retapping it, so on and so forth, right? I haven't experimented it again with the set a ton. I'm waiting for it to come out to really do a lot of that. I understand you've been playtesting a lot. I am not at all surprised you found loops with this card. This card has like a surprising amount of moving pieces to it. It's also like a good empower enabler. It is probably good enough in a lot of the ramp decks. In the Jace deck specifically, the fact that this card is online the turn you play it is so big, right? And it pays for itself if you are if you're going second and you play this on turn 1, it pays for itself the following turn, even if you have to ready it with Jace after you exhaust it. It's so good. I am excited to play with this card. I think this card is like super legit. I'm giving this card also a 4 out of 5. One of the only decks that I've built ahead of the format, and I haven't tested it, is playing 3 copies of this card. I think this card is great.
3 copies,
yeah.
This card's fantastic. Yeah. I'll give it
I'm giving it a 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. This is also the type of card that like heuristically speaking, in my opinion, is like very bannable. I'm not saying they should ban it now. I'm saying like cards that tend to be like open-ended resource generators like this.
Yep.
Yeah, they tend to
Mhm.
they tend to get broken. I'm excited to see Riot design around it. um, Next up, repair specialist, 3 energy, 3 might unit. I have assault equal to the number of gear you control. I don't think this card does anything, unless I'm missing something. I'm just gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Thoughts?
Yeah. I was gonna defer to you because you're the Lucian player here.
No,
So
this card,
I don't know if you had any
Lucian.
hot takes on it.
I will make a video at some point called the Lucian rant about why Lucian is legitimately the worst legend ability in the entire game, and how much power they had to give so many of his cards because his legend ability is so. Anyways, moving on. We have Bakai Weatherclaw. This is 4 energy for 4 might. It empowers for 1 energy and 2 power. And while it's empowered, it has +2 might. And while empowered, it also has Death Knell, channel 2 runes exhausted. I think this card is like just a limited card. I don't think this card makes a lot of sense in most of the decks where you're allowed to play it. Did you find anything different with this card?
No, you're basically just canceling out empowering it, and
Yeah.
at that point, it's yeah.
Why are we here? Yeah. I'll give it a 2 out of 5. Like, you'll play it unlimited. It doesn't. It's not awful, but like I don't see a reason to put this card in a deck right now. Onslaught 4. It's a spell. 4 energy. It just says give a unit +6 might this turn, and for flow you can play it for 4. I think this card is like kind of powerful. No, it's basically assault 6, right? Because you can only play it during your turn.
Pretty much.
I guess I've seen. So what I think of is like I've seen this card that's like give a unit assault 3 this turn. You can discard a card to like copy it, right? And I think that card also costs 4. It's in red, and I've seen that card see play.
You're talking of I know what you're talking about. Though I forgot the name.
It's like in the Jin deck or something. Like, and I understand it's probably because it
It's
costs
a
4.
4, and you give it, and then you can repeat by discarding a card to give it an additional assault 4.
Yeah. That sounds right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um. Ah. I guess the fact you can only use this on offense is just like makes me unenthusiastic.
Yeah, I
yeah.
still think Primal Strength is a little bit better.
Yeah, I think so too. And
Action speed.
another thing, the format's like, or at least this set's premier aggro archetype cares significantly less about recycling runes than most do. And most of the time when you're playing these combat tricks, it's not on turn 1 or 2. So you can afford to recycle a couple of runes if it means you get extra power. Or extra might, I should say. Yeah. So like, I'll give this a 2 out of 5. I don't think I'm going to play this card. Just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Let's take a look. Okay, I'm kind of excited about this card.
6/7.
Yeah. 6/7, 6/7. It's 4 energy though, and 4 might. Profiteer. It's a unit. When you play me, you may disempower something you control to empower a legend, unit, or gear. I actually think this card has like a lot of potential, but I'm not sure if this has a place right now, and I want to hear your thoughts because you actually like tried to test in this format. This card reads to me as open-ended.
Is amazing in Besta.
Yeah, that was kind of my thinking too.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything so powerful that we want to enable it like this right now. I do know there's things you definitely want to empower multiple times if you can. And I think we'll see one of the big ones in Chaos that I'm like a little excited about, even though it's not actually that powerful. But like this card just like this card it also reads like open-ended in the same way that the Worm Egg does, but like it's not nearly as powerful on base, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But this card definitely has like a lot of potential to let you do some pretty silly things. In terms of like
it combos so well with what Mbessa wants to like. I low-key think Mbessa is one of the best decks next format.
Okay, and this card is like one of the driving forces behind that, I would assume.
Yeah,
right?
like you can just like empower a Gangplank out of nowhere, right? For example, the card that we just reviewed, right, the Legion Marauder. It's so easy to
Hmm.
empower him for one, and
Yeah,
then
and
you just play.
something.
You play Profiteer, and then
Mhm.
you empower stuff. Like the the lines that she enables is like so good. And there's another card that's coming up that, or in yellow, that is just
Absurd.
so good.
And like this is the kind of card that has like it's like we have a lot of cards like this in other TCGs that kind of look like Rube Goldberg machines. The thing about Rube Goldberg machines in card games is that usually if you're taking a lot of game actions, you're gonna end up positive, and this is the type of card that lets you make a lot of game actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And she's
I'm.
also just like, for 4 energy. Like she has good stuff for 4 energy.
It's not even
Four
bad.
energy, 4 might is not bad at all.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Like I'm willing to play this.
yeah,
I actually think I would give this card a 5 out of 5 because I think this is like a potentially archetype defining build around. Like I think this card
yeah.
is that it's got so much potential. I'm willing to just give it 5 stars. You know what I mean? How about you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it. I want to reserve my 5 stars for like game breaking cards,
Sure.
which this is definitely close to it. But I'll give it a 4.75. Like
I think
better
the
than 4.5. Not
not
quite
quite.
there, but like she's definitely one of the best cards in the set for sure.
I think the way I look at it in terms of 5 is like the reason I give it a 5 is because like I think there's definitely a world where this card isn't seeing play, but I do think if it is seeing play, it's one of the best things in your deck. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. She's one of the best. She's the best enabler.
Yeah, yeah. It's an absurd enabler for the set mechanic. Okay, next we have Best of the Wolf. This is a 4 energy champion unit. It has 4 might. It has empower for 3 energy and 1 power. And while it's empowered, it has +3 might and can't be dealt damage unless it's in combat.
So good.
Yeah, this card's nice. Like first of all, I think it's just important to recognize that champion units that are 4 energy and no recycle cost are by default something you have to think about, right? Um, and she's on curve, and then her empower ability is legitimately okay. Like it's not amazing in all your matchups, but like getting to the fact that she's already on curve, and then sometimes you get to boost her up to a point that pushes her over the curve, if that makes any sense. Because like six energy, your third turn, you're supposed to be attacking with 4 or 6 might units, and this card can potentially attack as a 7 on turn 3, which means that she's probably above curve. I think this card is actually like pretty exciting and definitely like a very champion zone ready card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this card is so good. Especially, I, I hate the fact that Master Yi just won't die.
Yeah,
Like even the fact that his is gonna get rotated out for regional qualifiers. So it's
hmm
like people should be discouraged from playing it. But in
it's
all
just too
honesty,
good.
Master Yi is just this. We got so many new cool toys, and
Yeah.
Best is one of them. And
Oh yeah.
this card is just just a stat state. As soon as it hits the board, it's such a problem, and you can't get rid of it. It's so hard to get rid of.
It's good in the exact opposite way of a card like Profiteer, where like Profiteer is like a really knobs and buttons kind of card. This card is like I don't know. It's just a pile of might, and sometimes you
A lot
can't
of
beat a pile of might. Like
exactly like it's a lot of the times like when I'm playing in Best or Master Yi, I literally just bring it out, conquer one battlefield, and she just sits there for 3 to 4 turns.
yeah, because you
Like
can't
she
get
just
over her.
forces.
Yeah.
You can't get over her,
Yeah.
and you can't deal with her. And you try attacking into her, and you lose to a first punch, and it's just like game over.
Yeah,
Like,
game's dead. Yeah, super
it's
over.
so like sometimes she just sits her butt down on a battlefield, and your opponent doesn't interact with her. You're literally she's blanketing like she's who's the best cornerback in the NFL? She's
Devin Singletary or something. I don't know.
Devin. So yeah,
Yeah.
she just
She's lockdown corner.
blankets
She's Deion Sanders
she's
for the
a lockdown
battlefield.
corner.
Half the game is no longer playable because you can't throw to that side of the field.
Is gone. Like, you just sit her down.
That's messed up.
That's essentially what she is, dude. Like you could just safely put her down, and you guys are just fighting over one battlefield for the rest of the game. She's so hard to get rid of.
I'm gonna give
And
her.
like just like as I said, when in the times that they think they can go into her, yeah, as long as you have one up, you just threaten a punch first, and it's getting over a 12 is so hard.
Oh, I agree. I'm gonna give her a 4 out of 5. Only because I don't think this is actually like an archetype defining card. I think this is just a good card that can go in a lot of decks. I think it's really generic. I think it's too generic for me to want to give it a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5.
I think
But
because
I think
it's
it's very
good
strong.
generically, though, I will give her a 4.5.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
All right.
She could fit into basically if you're playing orange, she could fit in
Almost
almost
anything.
every deck that
Yeah.
you're playing. That if it's not Aurora or you're not like playing some type of loop deck,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like the epitome of mid range.
Mm-hmm. She's also probably excellent. Not that this deck exists, but like if there was an Embessa Aurora deck, she's probably excellent in it because she's your champion unit and she's so good at getting a battlefield early
Oh yeah,
when you
yeah,
really
yeah.
need that point.
She could help like the early game a little.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah, yeah.
fight more aggro decks for sure.
In a way that the deck's not supposed to be able to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we got Renekton Brute. This is a 5 energy unit. It has 4 might, champion unit. For 1 energy, you can give it +1 might this turn. When its might becomes 10 or more, empower me. While it's empowered, it has deflect and ganking. I've decided this is the default unit for the Renekton Champion Zone. I don't think it's actually super good. Even though I will be trying to play it.
I've tried using both. I thought I wanted to like this one. I thought this was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 might though, so
It's
my
so
problem
bad.
was the best way to double it is with Dominus, a signature spell.
Yes.
But the fact that you always want to be at 4 runes
Mm-hmm.
is like really awkward because then if you want to go above 4 runes to get this to empower 1 and then Dominus to double, it just sometimes the runes just don't work out because Renekton's ability. Like if you're ever on odd runes, Renekton's ability is just so awkward to use. Sometimes.
I agree. Yeah.
And so that's why I think the red one is a little bit better in the fact that he can come and accelerate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really wanted this one to be good, but in practicality, it was a little lackluster.
It's weird how you could tell the cards in the set were like severely balanced around Renekton's ability. Because they clearly want this card in the top left corner to say 3, because Renekton pays for 2 of it, but it still has to say 5, and it feels really awkward, and you also kind of don't want to play it for 3, because it leaves you with too few resources the following turn. I think this card is like a 2.5. Like, I think this is one of the worst champion units in the set so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's good in the fact that it doesn't cost the power, which is nice, and none of his empower abilities or like his ability to give it plus might is doesn't cost any power. Just
sure,
nice. But it's just,
and also like it's not like it's great when it's empowered. Like you get deflect 1, and you get to gank. Like I don't know, this is like
this card is so reliant on Dominus.
Yeah,
it's so reliant on its signature spell.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna rate this card?
I'll give it a 2.
All right. Moving on. So we've got the Body Hate card. It's called Decree of Strength. It is 1 energy, no power, like all the good ones are. Choose an opponent. They reveal their hand, and you choose a mind card from it. They recycle that card. This card's busted.
Especially with how popular Diana and Backpack Ezreal is. This card is a godsend for orange.
This card is absurd. Sabotage is already very good, right? And this is leagues, it bounds, leaps better than Sabotage. Like this card is, oh my god! Like
you can hit Way with this card.
You can hit Way. You can hit their Mundo. Like you can hit their promising future. Like it doesn't even set you back on turn 1. Like you can fire this thing off into the Jace deck on turn 1 if you're on the draw, and you're just like, yeah, snap off this promising future. Like this card is it's weird giving sideboard cards such high ratings, but I legitimately think this card is like just one of the best sideboard card in the game. Like right now, yeah. Like I think this card is like 5 out of 5 power. Like I think there is legitimate consideration to like if blue is powerful, I'm going to play orange so that I can play 3 of these in my board and never lose my game 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just hits a Watcher too is so good.
Oh
Because
God.
Watcher is like literally Blue's only comeback mechanic, and
Hmm.
they've been playing greedy. Like a lot of Ezreal and other lists are cutting Watcher to one.
Yeah, and you just
It's
take it.
just you just yoink it.
Yeah,
So feels so good.
so strong. What would you give it on the star rating?
Dude, this is as close to a 5 as possible.
It's absurd that this card could possibly be a 5 and like not be in
Yeah,
my
it's
main deck.
I'll,
Like,
I'll give it a 4.5.
all right, for sure, for sure. Moving on, we've got Noxian Demolitionist. This is a 2 energy, 1 might unit that says when I conquer, you may kill a gear with energy cost no more than my might. I feel like this card's bad, but like it's interesting to me that Riot thought this card was powerful enough to budget its might at 1. You know what I mean? Like
I'm
Riot,
trying to think of it now. There isn't Orange doesn't have a way of killing gear prior to this card.
but it still doesn't really kill gear, right? Like it kills seals and nothing. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
You don't really want to invest any a lot of energy into it either.
Yeah. And yeah, I am curious.
I think this card is a set too late.
I would like to know how this card got to 1 might. You know what I mean? Like I want to know where in the design process they were like this card can't have 2 might, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Moving on. Or I guess wait, real quick. Got to give it a rating. I'd still give this card like I think this is actually a 1 out of 5. I think this is also like the worst possible gear hate you can play, if I'm being real.
It's Orange's first gear hate, if I recall correctly. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And for that, I'll give it a 2.
Okay, for sure. I respect that. Rampage. This is a 3 energy spell. As you play this, you can pay a power as an additional cost. Choose a friendly unit and an enemy unit. If you paid the additional cost, give the friendly unit +2 might this turn. They deal damage equal to their mights to each other. I honestly, like, I understand now that it looks like challenge mechanics are going to be the way that Orange gets removal. I don't know where this falls on that scale. I think it's worse than the Mbessa challenge, but I can't tell how it stacks up to regular challenge. Have you been able to play this card at all?
Yeah, I think the best way to play this is you want to play both, and I think 2-2 just seems too much. I think you go 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
2 challenge, 1 rampage. I think is fine.
Mm-hmm.
There are times where this card is better, and then there are times where challenge is so much better. And
Mm-hmm.
it really just I don't want to give a cop out answer where it says it depends on your deck, but
It really does, though. Like,
it really does.
yeah. Again, not sure if this is a real deck, but if you're playing Mbessa Aurora, Rampage is so much better than Challenge because you just don't have to recycle a rune, right? Like, or is it? I don't know. Like, but like, it's so contextual. It's hard to rate. I still think this card is playable though, so I'm gonna give this card a 3 out of 5 because it's a removal spell. It's in orange. It seems fine.
Fiora.
Yeah,
Like
it's
being
freaking awesome.
trigger Fiora and
Yeah.
like recycling it, but it was really strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I believe that. Yeah, for sure.
I guess I think like half the orange decks want to play challenge and the other half want to play rampage.
And there's some that
No,
are
I
gonna play
like
some
a
combination.
combination.
Of both. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. What would you rate this card?
I'll give it a 3. I think
Okay.
that's fine.
I
think
am
it's solid.
inclined to agree. This card is named Tools of Empire. It is a 4 energy gear. It has Empower for 2 energy. You can exhaust it to give a unit +2 this turn. If it's empowered, you give it +4 instead. I'm not into this card, particularly because it only works on offense. I think there would be something to be said if it worked on defense too, but it might actually be like way too powerful if it worked on defense.
Those action speed, yeah.
Yeah. I think this card is like very mid, and we can just kind of move on. What do you think?
Yeah, but I will say this, that powerless and powers
Mm-hmm.
costs are relatively good.
Worth considering.
Yeah, they're worth considering.
Okay. I'm still
Like
gonna.
if your deck revolves around like having like an empowered something, right? Like
Mhm. It might as well not
there's
cost energy, or not
yeah,
cost power.
or
Sorry. Uh, that being said, still gonna give this thing a 2 out of 5. Thoughts?
yeah, that's fine with me.
All right, bet. Lastly, or no, maybe second to last. In the domain,
You
we
could
got
just skip this card. My God, this is one of the worst epics I've ever seen.
no, but this card. But look at the art though. The art is so sick.
The art, they wasted the art on this, man. It could have been so sick.
8 energy, 3 power. We're still gonna talk about it a little, just because it has the epic tag. Just a spell. It's Cataclysmic Duel. Each player chooses a unit they control. Kill the rest. I think this might be like one of the worst cards I've ever seen at Epic. Like this card is insanely bad. Like we both choose our best unit and keep it is the worst way to remove cards. You know what I mean? There is something to be
Yeah.
said for like orange will usually have the biggest unit, but you just throw on like this triple recycle cost, and it just seems like a card that's impossible to play. Um, I'm gonna give this card a 1 out of 5. I think this card's easier to play.
I'll give it a minus whatever I minus pi.
Minus pi, he says. All right, minus 3.14 on Cataclysmic Duel. Uh,
So,
okay, yeah. So it looks like we are on the Chaos domain now. There's gonna be 20 cards.
oh, chaos is
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
no, there's some cards in this domain. 20 cards to be exact. Starting with Kennon's Storm of Shuriken. This is a 3 energy unit that also costs 1 power. It has 4 might. When you play me, burn 2. Um, and when I conquer, give a spell in your trash flow equal to its cost this turn. This card is absurd, right? Like it's not just me. Like this card is like
This
bonkers.
card is good.
Yeah, I don't even know if we really have to describe why it's good. I think it's just clearly good. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would give this card.
Three drop with a 3 drop with the power cost.
Mm-hmm.
It has 4 might. Like it has
It's big.
deceptively good stats.
Yeah, it's big,
And
and then
then
it draws a
yeah,
bunch of cards.
yeah. He doesn't draw per se, but he burns too, and then you get to and basically any spell in your trash is playable in your hand, basically, right? Like
That's what I'm saying. Like it turns your trash into a
card just
second hand,
enables
right?
so
Like once per turn, you just draw a free card. Well, maybe not
and
once a
in a
turn,
game
but
that they or in a color that has like ride the wind or something.
ride the
Like you could
wind,
just like you could do
repeatable.
he could do so many. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, stack deck. Like I just want to play stack deck 9 times in a game. You know what I mean? Like,
pretty much.
yeah. I think this card is like a 6 out of 5. I think this card is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the best cards in the set.
Yeah, I think I have this as like a top 5 card. If you were to ask me my vibes on
He's
it.
good in all state. Like you can play him on. You can play him first turn. You can play him like
Turn
there's
20.
no stage in the game where
Yeah,
he's bad.
yeah, absolutely not. This card's really good. He might not be the best top deck because he doesn't do everything at once, but like so
Yeah,
rarely in this deck are you truly gonna be top decking. You know what I mean? Like you should have cards in your hand at almost all times, and this is a very good card to play alongside almost any other card in the domain. Um, moving on to Zed Without a Sound. This is a 5 energy unit. It has 5 might. When I conquer, you can play a 0 might Shadow Clone unit token to the base. And as an action for 1 power and 1 chaos energy, or sorry, 1 energy and 1 chaos power, you can move me and a Shadow Clone you control to each other's locations. I want you to talk about this card because earlier in the previous video
I
I was
love
talking
this
about how this
card.
card confused the heck out of me.
Uh, I love this card. It's one of it's my go-to for Zed. His chosen champion. I think this card is fantastic. Like, it's fantastic. Like, it does so much for the deck, and you can play it like going second. You can play it on turn 2. It's just he has good stats, 5 for 5, and then you can do so many tricks with his shadow clones. Like he can just like in League, you can just like swap in and out. So it's like
Yeah, just dance
sometimes
around.
your opponent has to like consider like, okay, am I safe to conquer here, or because then like he can bail himself out,
Hmm.
or if they're blindly or like obviously if they're not aware, they can blindly attack into your shadow token. You can swap in
Hmm.
with Zed, and then he kills it. He
Yeah,
kills
sure.
it. There's so many things that he can do, and it's just the other. So the alternative one is the red one with a
Hmm.
power where you discard it and make another token.
Which is also
The fact
absurd.
that he, which is good, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fact, but this one on Conquer, you get to just keep playing in like early game or on turn two when you play
Hmm.
him. He's gonna conquer something on next turn. Like
Mm.
early game is so hard to deny him a conquer, and he just lives through so much. And he's one of those cards where your opponent is always gonna like he's gonna be eating falling stars and stuff like, which is like so he lets all your other good cards live basically too, like because they're gonna do everything they can to try to get rid of this card. Like he's such a threat.
Not to mention that the red one with the energy cost or the power cost curves into this card, right? Like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
this card is just doing a lot. I think it's really good. I want to give this card like a 4 out of 5. I think this card's very good, but I'm not sure it's like super busto nutso. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm a little higher. I'll give it a 4.5. It's not a perfect card, but it's exactly
What the deck wants. Yeah, for sure.
wanted or wants for his deck. Yeah.
All right. Next card is going to be Ocean Drake. This card is 8 energy and 2 power. It is a 7 might unit. And when you may play this card to an open battlefield, and when you play me, you may return a non-dragon unit to its owner's hand. I think this card is like really good. Maybe I'm only
Yeah.
thinking of about Aurora, and to be fair, like I think Aurora is very good still. This card seems nuts, right?
Yeah. I think this card is like if you're a fan of Mind Splitter, you're gonna love this card too. Like they're in the same tier.
They're in the same tier and they do
This one
opposite
might be a little
things.
bit better too. Yeah.
I would argue this does the better thing. Like as I played Minesplitter more and more, and I understand the game's not very old yet, so like there's obviously a lot more development to be had. But Minesplitter has been less and less impressive to me over time, and Rebuke has gotten better and better. And this card rebukes and also sometimes just scores a point and is also just large. You know what I mean?
Yep. Oh yeah, this card is great. I think this card boosts like hot take. I think Draven comes back next set.
Uh huh.
Draven is I think well positioned into set four.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ocean Drake is like one of its really cool new toys because a lot of people were playing with a Beast Below,
Mm-hmm.
and this card is just way better.
Sure, sure, sure. I would give this card. I think this is a 4 out of 5 as well. I think this card is very, very good.
Yeah, it's a little costly, so it's not. It's hard for me to give it anything higher than a 4.
Mm-hmm.
But it's great.
Okay.
It's Rebuke on a body.
Yeah, exactly. It's rebuke on a dude, like, and
Yeah,
sometimes it
and a
scores a
big
point.
dude,
Yeah, it's a
animated.
huge dude. Uh, Moving on, we have Teocloak Matriarch. This is a 4 energy unit that has 4 might. It can empower for 2 energy and 1 power. When it becomes empowered, you may choose a unit in your trash with energy cost no more than 3 and power cost no more than single power of any domain. Play it to your base, ignoring its cost. I don't love this card, but I think that this card, more than a lot of other cards, because its empower ability gives an entire card, is something to think about with the ways to enable empower, specifically Profiteer, right? Like, I think doing this for free is potentially good in some spaces. But I'm still going to give this card a 2 out of 5 because I don't know where you would want to do it.
I'm a little higher on this card. I really like this card. Not only do I like I think it has great artwork too, but um, it just had like it had good stats like no 4 for 4, no power costs,
Hmm.
and then when like you could just play her right. Like people are clamoring over like Fizz and stuff,
Hmm.
and like she just does so much. Like she's good in all phases of the game. You can play her early, and she's
Hmm.
just a 4/4.
Yeah.
That's like almost like really hard to get rid of early
Mm.
game, and then just being able to revive some stuff, right? Like being able to revive a Fizz, being able to revive like Tide Turner or
Hmm.
Tide Turners, merchants, was it overzealous fans.
Hmm.
There's a lot of really cool things. She could even bring back uh what you call it, Kennen too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm a little higher on her. I would give her a solid 4 actually. She's playing she plays pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this though is that purple does or the decks that she's good in. She kind of competes with a lot of other costs or like energy costs
Mm-hmm.
in her game, so you don't want to play too many of her. I think
Mm-hmm.
like 1 or 2 is fine. She just basically acts as an extension of your other units, and because late game 2 and 1 power means nothing.
What if I told you this card is a 3 out of 5 because Fizz has never hit the graveyard?
Well, on the contrary, you could like discard. This lets you discard,
Oh, you
discard
can now
Fizz.
discard Fizz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you see Fizz, you never want to discard it, but now you can.
Yeah. Now you're allowed to. Okay, sure.
Yeah, because now it's like you can discard spells and units. Like this card, because then you can go discard, bring back Fizz, bring back your spell,
Mm-hmm.
bounce this card back, and then play it again, revive your Fizz, play another spell. Like
See, because
it's
what I
kind of
was
like
thinking is like nobody's ever killed a Fizz, but you're right, you are allowed to discard that card now. Whereas previously you like kind of weren't because you always need to keep it for your late game plan.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would give this card a 3 out of 5. I'm a little bit less
I think-
enthusiastic about it than you are, I think, but I definitely
Okay.
see this card being very potentially powerful.
I mean, and there's Ari on the card. It's automatically good. Hello?
I'm not an Ari stan. I'm about my dog Lucian. That's the homie for show. Like
All right, all right.
that's my guy. Next up, we've got Kinku Lifeblade. This is a 4 energy format unit from Ionia. It has Empower for 2 more energy. While it's empowered, it has +1 and ganking. I think this card is very mid, but it's worth kind of thinking about because the Empower cost is so cheap, and there are some
Yeah.
enablers, you know.
I wanted this card to be good, but like
Just
in
couldn't,
like a
couldn't
format
solve
where
it.
like weird. I think it could be good in like a format where there's like rule set where it's like commons only or something. I think this card could be goaded. Or
Oh,
something.
sure,
Like
yeah.
very niche like weird rules and stuff. There's a world where this card can be good.
Mhm.
We don't live in it, but
I would give this card a 2 out of 5. I think this is like limited filler,
Yeah.
basically. Maybe slightly better, but not enough to actually change the star rating for me.
yeah.
All right.
Like if there's ever like a Highlander or like a Commander Riftbound where you just can only play one of everything. and
This might
stuff,
make
and
it. Yeah. If there's
can
ever a
make the
format
cut.
design where like you have to run 40 copies of Kinku Lifeblade in your deck, I would consider playing this
Yeah.
card. Like okay, Shadow Disciple. This is a 2 energy unit with 2 might. When I move, you may burn 1 to give me +1 might this turn. I have not figured out this card. What do you think about this card? Have you been able to play it at all or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing this card. This card's solid. This card's good. It's just against a good player, it beats bad players and loses to good players. Because then it just it's one of those cards where so a lot of players I notice get in the habit of just repetition, right? They'll just conquer with their first two drop,
Mm-hmm.
and they're willing to trade that. But against good players, they'll not take the first conquer, right? If they see this card come down. What this card does is just it's like playing a 2 drop and your opponent plays Lucian or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like your unit's gonna die. Do you take with it? So this card kind of slows the game down early, which is depending on what deck you're playing, is good.
Okay. I thought this card might be good. I didn't think it was necessarily the burn one, but it's nice to have some upside. I thought the +1 might on attack is like weirdly good on the draw sometimes, but I wasn't like sure enough to really rate this card any higher than I'm gonna give it. And I think I'm gonna give this card like a 2.5. I do think it's actually legitimately better than a 2. I just haven't figured out like the 2-drop slot in a lot of decks is really tight because there's a lot of good 2-drops, and it's such an important slot. And I'm not sure this is actually making the cut.
Yeah, I would still rather play Merchant in my opinion. I at first was testing this card a lot, and I kind of
Move back.
phased it out a little bit.
Mhm.
Because it's kind of easy to play around, but against bad players, it's great.
Sometimes you just need to abuse the guy in your meta who somehow makes it to
Yeah,
finals but still attacks with this 2 drop for no reason.
yeah.
Alright. I mean, respect.
It's not even about the burden too. It's just, I mean, the burden's nice, but you mostly just want to beat over 2 drops, and he's
Yeah.
just like you said, better on the play.
Hmm.
But at that point, it's like pretty thin.
Yeah, sure. Alright, next up we've got Ilaoi, Prophet of the Great Kraken. This is a 6 energy unit with 4 might. Blech. When you play me or when I score, play a 1 might tentacle unit token from Bilgewater. I have +1 might for each token unit you control. So this is essentially 6 energy for 6 might. It's just spread across 2 bodies. But
Two bodies.
I think unlike, I know last video I talked about how cards that make multiple pieces of cardboard are broken. I don't think this card actually does that. I think this card makes you like a quarter of a piece of cardboard, and then it itself is like 3/4 of a piece of cardboard. And therefore, it's like one card that's not super good. You know what I mean?
If it had deflect, it would be so much better.
If it had deflect, if it made 2 tokens, if it did any number of things, I think it'd be really solid. I have a feeling that Ilaoi's Champion is going to make this card like somewhat reasonable. It is also worth noting, it also makes a tentacle unit when you score, so like if you ever get to take with this card, it can get, I don't know, reasonably out of control, especially if you can hold. You'll make like 3 tokens, right? But like, I'm kind of persuading myself to like not give this a 1. It's just not something we can do right now, but I could easily see us doing it in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe there's like a purple yellow deck too that like just has a bunch of tokens, and so you're just playing this card.
Possibly, yeah.
But like even then, it's still just a beat stick, and my maximum rating on beat sticks is usually just 4, and I don't think this is a maximum beat stick. It's pretty expensive. It doesn't make like a ton of dudes. I'm gonna give this card like a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm inclined. I agree. I think 2.5 is fine.
Okay. Shadows of the Past. 3 energy and a power for a spell. Return up to 2 units from trashes to their owner's hand. I'm gonna go ahead and say this card is like not playable.
Yeah, I think Morbid Return is just better.
I agree. I'm just gonna move on. 2 out of 5. Make sense?
Mhm.
Alright. Winds and Ghosts, 3 energy and a power. Action, choose a unit out of battlefield. If it has 3 might or less, banish it. Otherwise, return it to its owner's hand. I think this card's fine.
I think this card is amazing.
Yeah, this card's sick. The downside, I guess, is that it gets rebuked. Or not rebuked, it gets defied,
Yeah.
unlike rebuke. But, like, I don't know. Rebuke costing 2 power has always been an issue, and this card does not do that. It's still action speed. I think this card's really, really solid.
It also just gets rid of Lonely Portal and Scuttle too.
I agree. It also, like,
certain scenarios
yeah.
where you need it to.
There's a lot of spots where I think this card is, like, really, really good. I think this is also one of the reasons why Draven might be a little bit more playable next set too. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
I think this card is like
have a video on Draven coming out and talking about this card. Yeah.
sure. As far as like
I'm calling
utility,
Draven the ultimate anti-meta deck next format.
for sure. I mean, how anti-meta can you be when your hero just draws 2 cards every turn? You know what I'm saying? Like, that being said, I kind of have a cap on a lot of the like utility / bounce cards. Usually their floor is really high, but their ceiling's kind of low. I think this is one of the middle cards. I think its floor is very high. I think its ceiling is relatively low as well. I think this card is like exactly a 3.5. It's going to see a lot of play at between 1 and 2 of, and I think it'll rarely be a 3 of. And I don't think it'll ever be a card where you're like, this is the reason I'm playing the deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It not being reaction speed is what's preventing me from giving it anything higher than a 4.
If this card is reaction speed, it's a 5. It's not even close. Like I don't even think I would play an entire archetype to play a reaction speed version of this card. And I've played Starcrossed.
Like, would be too empowering if or this card would be too powerful if it had reaction speed. So yeah. I think at 3.5.
All right. Moving on. We have Mel Defiant Soul. This is a 5 energy unit with 4 might. Empower, discard a spell. When I become empowered, Banish an enemy unit at a battlefield with 3 might or less. I actually think this card is like very solid. Like I'm giving my rating right now. I think this card's like a 4 out of 5. I think its Empower is really easy. I think the biggest knock against it is that its might is really bad. But I think the fact that you can come down, chuck something, and immediately banish something is really, really solid. Even if you're not necessarily getting a whole card for the 5 energy, I think a lot of the time banishing an enemy unit with might 3 or less is better than the worst card in your hand, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I give this card a 4. Any thoughts on this card beyond that? Any places it's shown
think
up?
this card is very solid. I've been playtesting a lot of Mill recently, and I still think the other one is better as the chosen champion.
Sure, I think
But
that's
I've
fair.
been playing some numbers of this between main and sideboard. Is good.
Go
She's so good in certain matchups, and then
Going second, this card has to be absurd, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. And just like being able to, like I said again, the same case with Winding Ghosts, being able to deny some of like the Lonely Portals and Scuttles and like that kind of stuff is really strong.
Yeah, getting through the GAs or whatever they may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's and also
especially in
this card
especially in this, 'cause, like you can lower a unit and then like you can lower Aurelia,
yeah,
and then do some stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I also think that this card is just like, I'm talking about the going second thing. It'll come up again. This card is like so strong on tempo. Like, it's so much tempo. Like, I don't know if I can really describe properly in this video how much tempo it is, but I think if you play it on turn 2, you're gonna find out real quick how much tempo this card can give you.
I think like also like with the expansion of side X, because I do this, like I love doing this. I don't know why a lot of people haven't been doing it in prior formats, but I love having the backup chosen champion in the sideboard.
Oh, me too.
To swap out from stuff. Yeah, and like this is what with the expansion from 8 to 10, I think we're gonna see more chosen champion sided, where you can side into the other one in certain matchups or going first or second, and this one definitely fits the bill.
I used to, before the nerfs, I was actually doing it in Draven, kind of to prove a point, but also because like I thought there was legitimate utility in multiple different Draven cards. I think this is one of those cards for sure. Like, I think going second, this card should be in your champion zone. It's the reason it's not is because you can't guarantee you'll go second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
Moving on, Gust Monk. This is a 2 energy, 2 might unit. You may pay 1 as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you paid the additional cost, banish a card from any trash to give a unit assault 2 this turn. 2 might while it's an attacker.
I love this card.
This
card is one of my.
This card's nuts, right? Like, this card's real good.
Getting rid of flow cards in your opponent's drop. Like I said, like you know how I said, and Draven's like the ultimate anti-meta pick. Yeah,
yes, this is a Draven card.
This card is one of those cards.
Yeah, it's just so good at giving like plus to combat on the like on your turn 2, especially on the draw. Again, I know we keep talking about the draw, but like we're trying to solve the go second problem. This card is for sure doing it. It's also just a 2-drop. Like, it matters that is a 2 energy 2 might unit that you just play on turn 1. It's this card. I'm not gonna say it's absurd. Like, I think again some of these units are a little bit capped in how good they can be, especially at 2 energy. But I think this card is like extremely playable in almost the exact same way as the bounce spell we just reviewed, which is funny because it has the same character on it. I would give this card a 3.5 out of 5, just like the bounce spell.
I'm a little higher.
Okay,
I'll go 3.5. 3.5. I think it's fair.
Okay, for sure. Even though that's pretty short, I think this card is very sweet. Don't take the short review. I just think it's very simple how good this card is.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have Decree. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, I said no. Yeah, it's very simple, but it does a lot. It has a lot of cool effects on it.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on, we have a spell, Decree of Discord. This is the Chaos Hate card. It is Hating Out Order. It is 1 energy and 1 power. Return any number of enemy order units with total might 5 or less to their owner's hands. When I first looked at this card, I actually thought it was like kind of bad, and then I thought about it more, and I actually think this card is like not absurd, like not as good as some of the other hate cards we've seen, but I think it's actually like plus. I think its biggest problem is that order has been underwhelming as a color, if that makes any sense.
Dude, this card just wrecks Azir though.
Oh, that's the thing, right? You think of the order decks, and it's very good against all of them, but there's
This
just
card
not
wrecks
many good order
Azir,
decks.
Rek'Sai. Like, there's so many cards that this card just
Dude,
you just auto win against. Sometimes it's actually kind of because like
imagine playing
you
this
may
card
take
against
that bounce
LeBlanc.
to hand, but like you deny them off the tempo,
Yeah,
and it's so good.
imagine playing this card against LeBlanc.
Yeah,
They can't beat that. Like the game's over. And it also doesn't target battlefields, right? It also targets backline, which is really important.
it fits anywhere.
Yeah. I think this card
At
is.
first I wasn't high on it, and then I started playing with it a lot more, and I'm like, this card is actually just stupid.
I'm gonna give this card a modular rating. Our very strict rating system. I'm gonna give this card a 3 out of 5. But if order is good, like more present, I think it can easily hit a 4. Like I think the biggest drawback to this card is that the order decks are like kind of definitively tier 2, tier 3 right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll give it a 4 just because in the cases where it's supposed to be good,
it's so powerful.
It is, yeah.
You're just gonna kill your
It does
opponent.
exactly what you want it to do. It kills the counter color. Like if you see it, and like yeah, there's not gonna be a whole lot of order per se, but if you are playing purple and you have this, you're pretty safe.
Yeah, for sure. This is an interesting card. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Spiderling is a 3 energy unit with 1 might that has hidden. That says it has +1 for each other unit you control here with my name. Your deck can have any number of cards named Spiderling. What are your thoughts on this card? Just want to hear them.
I think this card is just a meme.
So here's the thing. I when I read this card, I thought it was a little more powerful than just a meme. But I would assume if Riot felt safe releasing this card, they know that this card is a meme. Because I can't imagine the world where this is good and the game is fun. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
If it said anywhere, this card would just be absurd.
I think
But
that
it's
was
just the fact that it said here.
I think that's big. I think 1 might is big. I think 3 energy is big. I think
It can get like so I'm not a big Magic, but I've only played Magic for a very little time of my life.
Sure, yeah.
And during that time I was playing Mono Black. And it was around a deck called Pack Rat. This card
I was
reminded me of
introduced to that game with that card.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one time I ever like in the short 3 or 4 month stint, I was playing Magic. I was so my friend recommended me to play Mono Black, and I was just dude, Pack Rat is insane.
Yeah, this is the best card ever.
This card kind of reminded me of.
Yep.
But also not at the same time.
It's for sure not as good as Pack Rat was, and I'm inclined to agree that it's just
make multiple copies is insane. Yeah.
Exactly. I am inclined to agree that this card is just overall not good enough, but it would be really funny if it was. I'm gonna give this card a 2 out of 5. I would give it a 1 because it has bad incentives, but I've decided it's funny enough to get a 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's gonna be some Teemo deck somewhere that like plays this on turn 1 on the draw, takes the battlefield that says you can hide 2 cards here, and just goes to 0 runes and puts 2 Spiderlings there, and you're never gonna be able to play that battlefield.
Yeah.
Like,
the memes are there.
Yeah, the memes are good. Moving on, we have Mina Swiftfoot for 6 energy and 1 power. You get a 6-point unit. When I move to a battlefield, choose 1. Each player discards 1, or each player draws 1. I'm so glad this card is not 4 energy. Because this card... Okay, start off. I don't think this card's very good. But if this card was 4 energy, it would be atrocious to play against. And with. Like, both players would just lose their hands on turn 3, and there was nothing they could do about it. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing we could do about it.
I don't know in any situation where you'd ever want to draw one.
No,
I don't know why they gave that option to draw one.
We're just mind rotting each other. Like, we're just not playing cards for the rest of the game, dude. Like, that's what this card says. I think it's too expensive to be good in the state that it's in, but I do think that the text box itself is powerful. And because of that, even though I think it's too expensive to be good, I'm still gonna give it a 2.5 because the text box. I think the text box is like kind of absurd, and
They
so
should have
like,
gave it Game King though.
no, dude, absolutely not.
They should have given it Game King if they, because then you can only discard every other turn.
I I just don't want to deal with this card making me discard every turn.
Yeah, I can see a world where someone's playing like Bewitched Spirit and
Hmm.
discarding, and then this card comes out, and your opponent just doesn't have any cards to deal with it. So then when it moves to the battlefield, it just like just keeps like hounding
Yeah.
and like removing cards. But like,
God forbid we find a way to put a trigger in our opponent's like draw step or whatever, and we just like flash it out, and our opponent just like discards the card they drew.
discard the card that they drew.
Yeah. Like, um. That being said, still gonna give this card a 2.5 out of 5. It is very funny though.
I wanted this card to be good. It's just not.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next we have Stargazer. It is a 5 energy 4-might unit from Mount Targon. Spelled with flow, you play from your trash, costs 2 less to a minimum of 1. Oh, what do you think about this card? You've played more than I have in this set. I want to start with you on this one.
It just costs too much to be viable.
I
5 is too. 5 is just way too much.
That was my initial read on the card too. I think it's got a powerful text box, kind of like Nina, but I think it costs the right amount because this card would be absurd if it costs 3, right?
If it costs 4 or less, it might potentially see some play. 5 just makes it almost unplayable.
I agree. I think there's some powerful flow cards too, and I don't. The world where all my cards play themselves twice sounds really fun for me, but I could imagine some players who would hate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. Very interesting text box though. Like, definitely something I would be interested in playing if it is good. Thoughts?
Yeah, I would give it. I give it a 2.
Okay. Let's see. So we've got Tornado Warrior. This is a 3 energy unit. It has 3 might. It has hidden. When you play me from face down, you may empower something here. Disempower it at end of turn. I don't think this card quite gets there. The text box is really interesting. I think the biggest issue is that you have to play it from face down, and it has to be at the same location. Whereas a lot of the more powerful empowers and disempowers, you kind of want those cards to stay safe because the empowers and disempower are too expensive to risk them being at a battlefield. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but the memes on this card is so good.
The memes on this card are excellent. Do you want to talk about any of them?
No, we haven't crossed the card that it combos really well with. Well, it's coming up soon. I see it on the.
It's your boy Karox, probably. I would assume it's Karox.
Like,
yeah.
It's so good, dude.
It is very funny. Like, that being, I'm gonna give this card a 3, only because I think it's like 2 power level, but I think it has build around potential, and because of that, I think it's a 3. Like, I think it's fun enough to warrant a 3, if that makes any sense.
Worst case, he's just a +3 also on defense.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes he's just
ever has to come out. Like 3 is no joke.
Yeah.
But
Palaka Cub is broken.
This card is a lot. I think this card's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Like the first guy to make this deck work in a tournament and like top 8 some regional with it is gonna gonna go crazy. Yeah, it's so up. Moving on to Up from the Deep. This is like the Alawi signature spell, I guess, that they decided to put in the set for some reason. It is,
I guess so,
yeah. 3 energy. You get 2 1-might tentacle units, and they're from Bilgewater, which is important. It has flow for 3, which is actually the main reason why this card has any appeal whatsoever, is because you can play it from your graveyard after discarding it. I still don't think it's good enough, but it is an interesting card. Purple doesn't have many tokens right now. And theoretically, this card is like 4 might if you have an Alawi on the battlefield.
This card's I've seen some people try to play this in Aurora decks without as a way to like have some type of early game with the tentacle tokens, or like try to survive like yellows, Call the Weeks and stuff.
I don't hate the concept behind that, but I feel like one might is just like not doing anything, right? Like even two might just
Yeah,
on the same dude is only trading if your opponent has actual nothing, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It combos really well with Elder Dragon, but like,
that I believe.
yeah, I mean, but I wouldn't give this card anything more than a 2.5.
I'm gonna give this card a 2. I'm pretty low on this card, but I could like Alawi. I could see it being better if like the tentacle synergies get insane at some
Yeah.
point. But right now, I'm pretty sure this card is a 2 and staying a 2 at least for the time being. We got Twilight Step. This is 2 energy and 1 power. It's a spell. Move a unit with 3 might or less. Flow for 4 energy and a power. This card looks
So
nuts, right? Like
this
it's
card
not
was
just me.
so good in Runeterra.
Oh, really?
Got nerfed to oblivion. I wanted this card to be good. If it said move a unit with 4 might or less, it'd be
Mm.
so much better.
Is that the stopping point? Is that the issue with this card? Is that
The
like it can't really trade
3.
up, quote unquote?
The best thing you can really do with it is move Stellar Corn, and but even that feels a
That
little
feels
thin.
awful. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
I
I
had
guess
high
if it's
hopes
your
for this
own
card.
Stellar you're kind of happy, but then you're just paying like 2 and an energy to draw. Ah, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had high hopes for this card when I saw the art, and I was like, oh my gosh,
My initial hopes for this
because
card, seeing the text box, were that it were good, but if you're telling me it just hasn't played well, I believe you, man. I could easily see it.
yeah,
Moving units just so powerful, and it's not something Purple has had since we played
there's
Fight or
just so much
Flight.
restriction to it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's only normal speed. It's like kind of expensive with the energy cost or with the power cost, I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't let you win at combat either.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just too much not going on with this card, you know.
If it said just move a unit, this would be like great. This would be good, like really solid.
Yeah,
But the 3 or less just hurts it so much.
it ain't Charm, bruh. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I compare this to Charm. Holy crap, this card is way worse than Charm. Like, unbelievably worse than Charm. That being said, let's take a look at Forgotten Relic. Another very interesting card. Uh, Gear, 5 energy. When you play this or at the start of your beginning phase, burn 1. When you burn a unit this way, do this. Give a friendly unit plus might equal to the burn card's might this turn. I'm going to start this one off. I think this card's a huge trap. I think this card is a 1 out of 5. I think that
Yeah.
this card is like almost doing something, but the fact that this card never draws a card means that we're just like burning our turn 2 for no reason, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this card. I don't even see a use case for it because one, it has to be a unit for you to gain the might, and it's just that just doesn't feel good.
I feel like at some point there might have been like a version of this card that was like kind of broken in testing and it went too far, and then at the last minute they were just like nerf it into the ground, make it burn 1 instead of like burn 3 or something, you know what I mean?
Because like if it said burn, like burn, if the card burned, you give a friendly unit plus its energy power, it'd be so much better.
Sure, yeah. No, I think
Then
that
it would see some play,
yeah.
but even then, that
Even
would be
then,
thin.
yeah.
But this just it's
We're just
one
not
having
getting there.
to play majority unit, and like we all like most of the broken cards in Rift are majority all spells or gear, and it's just having to play more units and spells or gear just feels rough.
Yeah. The few spells you do play in this game just tend to be so powerful and like not cards you want to neglect. I would give this card a 1 out of 5, but
I give it a 1.
1, yeah. All right, moving on to the fun card. This set's like this set's a good meme and power card. 6 energy for a 5 might unit. It has empower for 6 energy and 2 power. When it becomes empowered, choose an opponent. They burn 3. Then you may do this. Choose a unit in their trash and play it, ignoring its cost. This card is sweet, right? Not just me. Like, this card is really funny.
Yeah, I think this card is. I've yoinked so many Elder Dragons with this card with a Tornado Dragon. It's kind of funny.
Sure, yeah. This is one of the highest cost empowers in the entire set.
Oh yeah,
that isn't
you're never
reducible.
gonna use this empower. You're never gonna empower it on its own.
Yeah, you gotta cheese it, but it can do it in its base, which is important. And also, like, there's a non-zero amount of empower synergy in purple, but you probably want to pair this with something that empowers things a little bit easier, like Profiteer, the orange card we saw earlier, or the
Or tornado.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
The reason why it's so good with tornadoes because you disempower it so you can reuse it again.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. Which is potentially very good depending on the deck you're playing against. And maybe that's the biggest drawback to this card is that it's so dependent on your opponent's deck.
I
Um,
was playing this on Pike, so then I would have this card and then Tornado Warrior, and then trigger Tornado Warrior, right? And then on their turn, bring a unit out, and then on my turn, use Pike to bounce back Tornado Warrior, and then
Jesus Christ,
rehide it, and
it's
then just
Jason
keep like
Bourne.
keep burning, like just to force them to keep burning cards and then taking their units.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
uh, that sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
um,
And like it's hard to get around. Freaking a 5 and a 3, it's 8 might, and then if you take one of their units,
yeah, it's like
if it
12 might.
depending on what
It's
they
like
pack
16
into, you can
might.
put it on your own battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
God forbid it's an Elder Dragon. Like,
yeah.
that being
It
said, it's
requires a
powerful.
lot of setup, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, as crazy as the ceiling for this card is, I think the floor is like too low. I think it's obviously a build around, but I think Empower is a set mechanic, not evergreen. So I feel comfortable saying that this is a 3, even though it's
Yeah, you're right.
definitely a 5 out of 5 on the fun scale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. It's not the worst card. It's not the best card. It's a lot of fun, and that's what. At the end of the day, that's what I'll give it a 3.5 actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We play card games for
It's
fun.
for fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't be sweaty games all the time.
Yeah. Next up, we have Shadow Cloaked Lurker. This is a
Like
5.
GG. This card can go next. This
Okay,
card
for
is
sure,
just
for sure.
filler.
What about the one that's ready for all the names in the trash? No, like, come on, man. This is the same card, bro. Like,
No, this is infinitely worse than Shadow Assassin.
all right, fine.
No.
Call it 1 out of 5. We'll go next. We have Mask Mother. I think this card is absolute stinky poo poo. I think if you're putting this in your deck sucks. Like straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's on
If the fact that
guard.
you have to pay one too, it's so bad.
If it was just when you discard, I would actually consider playing this card for sure.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not saying it would
wouldn't
make
be
the deck, but I would
terrible.
think about it. um, but no, this card is not playable.
Yeah. One go next.
Yep. Okay, this card is playable.
This card's very playable.
Yeah, yeah. Ravenbloom Prefect. It is a 3 energy, 3 might unit that says when an opponent plays a gear, you may banish me to banish it. Obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Aurora. But if your opponent just plays any gear you don't want to deal with, you can just get rid of it. Like, I think there's plenty of
Mm-hmm.
decks that this has very good utility against.
Mm-hmm. This
Uh,
card's really hard for Aurora to deal with, and there's one of the only gear hate where Aurora won't trigger. But obviously, if your
correct.
opponent, no one's just gonna blindly play Aurora when this card's on the field.
I
But
mean, you say that, but, like, straight up, if your opponent has 2 Auroras in hand, they're just going to jam 1 into this card. Like,
yeah,
because you
you're
have
right.
to,
You're
because
right.
you don't have a
Yeah.
choice. Like, you have to Aurora, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, the better way to play around this card is to put other gear in your deck that are potentially less impactful. But the thing is, the main means that, like, you can just not banish the gear if it doesn't mean anything. So this card is, I think this card's really, really good in sideboards.
Yeah, this card also just cripples like decks like Azir and stuff too. Setting them back
Yeah.
a turn is so huge.
Oh, I agree. I agree. I think this card has more utility beyond Aurora. It's just Aurora is like the obvious easy card to identify this card hitting, right?
Yeah,
I would give this card a 3 out
and
of 5.
outside
Oh,
outside of acceptable losses, one of the few cards that don't, or one of the few gear removal that doesn't cost the power.
yeah, oh, also true. Yeah, it doesn't cost a power to remove a gear, which is also important. Fits in relatively easily on your curve. If you're going second, you
Yeah,
can just lead with this card, and it's still probably fine in a lot of spots.
yeah,
Like,
because the decks that is good against don't have a lot of ways to get rid of it early, and if they do it, they're using like it's gonna cost them something
yeah,
like
it
pretty
costs them
significant.
real resources. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm giving this card a 3 out of 5, if only because it's a sideboard card.
Yeah,
if like it hit, if this said like unit on it, it would obviously be like a 5 out of 5. But it obviously can't say that, right? Like,
yeah, it's definitely playable.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
the, I mean, not. I wouldn't say it's a. I mean, there's still better cards in it for the sideboard for Gear Hate, but purple. I mean, purple has some solid answers, but in certain decks, I think this card is better, and it's not like overly game breaking or overly like super
I'll put it
super
put it
thing.
this way: if your opponent has one gear you care about, this is the best thing you can do. If your
Oh yeah,
opponent
for
has
sure.
more than one gear, this card gets worse, but it's still
Hmm.
fine at worst.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it beats bad players, and but harder against good players.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yes, and like I mean, there. That's another thing. Like the reason I think the floor on this card is so high is because like, how well can you actually play against this card?
Yeah,
You can play not bad, but it's hard to make good plays into this card if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
that's true.
Like
Yeah.
it's easy to not.
Sometimes they get you could just fall for the bait, or sometimes like they can just you know, yeah, it goes both ways for sure.
I'm saying I think it's easy to not throw away your gear, but it's hard to find a way to get your gear into play against this card.
Hmm.
Yeah. Moving
And
on.
even it just being a 1-for-1 is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Because like you're
Mhm.
playing. Obviously, the example that I'm going to keep going back to is Lucian. But like you play against Lucian, your opponent goes like, okay, turn 2, I'm going to play my Triforce, and you're just like, this seems worth it. Like I'll just,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it just goes away. This is fine.
Why
Like,
not? Yeah.
yeah.
If it conquered, then it did more than its job.
Yeah, exactly. Like we traded 1 for 1. We traded up on energy. We traded tempo. Like we're chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. We're gonna be on order. Our last domain. Are
Oh,
you
okay.
excited? Are you excited? Oh my god, this video only
I
took 2 hours
am.
to film. Like, um, order 21 cards, starting with the other Ambessa. Ambessa, respected and feared. This is a 5 energy unit with 5 might. It has empower 4, 1 energy, and 2 power. While it's empowered, it has assault 2. And while it's empowered, it has when I attack, kill an enemy unit here with less might than me. I think this. So, I'm gonna start this conversation because I used to play a lot of Yasuo. I thought this when I started this game. I thought this effect, this type of effect, because Yasuo has a very similar effect, was very powerful. I have learned that it is not because it's just really difficult to get off. It's not that
Yep.
it's not good; it's just impossible to actually resolve it properly.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
somebody's
Yeah,
gonna
I agree.
somebody's gonna on guard, somebody's gonna flash, somebody's gonna do something. You're gonna be like, well, I invested and like Yasuo, 6 energy and 2 power into trying to get this ability online, and it's not doing anything. um,
Yep. I feel like the cards, like it's just its effect is so irrelevant
mhm,
because if it's gonna win the combat, it's gonna win the combat
yep.
anyway,
What it's
right?
really,
It just doesn't do much. Like the orange one is just so much better.
you know where you want this effect, and you're gonna like this one. You know where this effect is broken
Where?
when you're playing against Shen.
Oh,
That's what Shen needed. Shen needed hate cards.
8 cards.
Yeah.
Oh god.
We needed to be good against the Shen deck. uh, that be-
The one Shen player you're gonna play in the whole season.
oh, you're gonna fuck that guy up, bro. Like,
Kidding.
yeah,
Sorry, right?
that guy can't beat this card, dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna give this card a 2 out of 5. I think this card is like actually relatively on the unplayable side. I think this.
I'm way lower. I'm giving this a 1, dude. This
Oh,
card is
oh, damn. Okay,
I don't want to
respect,
say any
respect.
card. I don't want to say any card sucks because it does fit the role of a powerless 5
Mhm.
or a powerless chosen champion.
But
But
it's so
the
directly
orange one is
comparable to
so
the
much
other one,
better.
right? Like, it's
Yeah.
it's the same cost as the other one. Maybe that's the biggest mistake about this card, in terms of like, what I wouldn't do if I was in the designer's shoes is make the exact same cost card basically just worse in terms of gameplay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just it's so underwhelming because it's just like if for a 5/5 might and you're going in a battle, you're gonna kill or it even gives it assault too, so you're gonna win the battle even harder.
Yeah.
So it's like, in what instances? are you ever gonna have your let your opponent have like three two or three twos on the board, right?
Yeah,
Where his effect will actually, or where her effect will actually matter.
yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, man, the Shen deck, when you have those two 5 my units of that battlefield, this unit's
Okay,
wrecking
okay.
house. Moving on, we have Shady Spectacles.
This card is fun.
This card is hilarious. 4 energy gear, equipped for one energy and 1 power. As this is attached to a unit, choose another friendly unit. The equipped unit becomes a copy of that unit for as long as this is attached to it. I'm pretty sure this card isn't good, but like you've played the format some amount. What's like the silliest thing you've seen with this card so far?
I've seen this card on like turning tokens into Ferris Forerunners, and you just have infinite
Ooh.
infinite Ferris Forerunner, infinite mech tokens.
That's a nice one. I could see
Yeah,
this.
it's like so you jam in the Forerunner, or
Mhm.
they kill the Forerunner, you get two tokens, and then you turn this into another like
You
you
turn
have
a
another
token into
Forerunner.
another
Yeah,
forerunner. Yeah,
it's so funny.
that's kind of nice. I don't hate that. Um, that is funny. I feel like this card is like a little too overcosted to really do anything, but it is one of those cards where I understand why it is because it's
This
clearly
is
doing
one of those
something so
cards
unique.
where if there's another FTK or like Infinite Loop in the future,
Oh,
I
it could
wouldn't be
easily
surprised if this is the culprit behind
part of
one of them.
that combo.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
this
uh
is this cards like this to just enable degenerate game plan. As a degenerate, I love it, but also I hate cards like this at the same time.
yeah, yeah, cuz like it's funny to figure it out, but it's never fun to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Um I'm still going to give this card a I'm going to give this card a 2.5 though. But I'm going to give it the
yeah,
funny 2.5 where like 50 like 80% of the time it's like a 1 star, and then 20% of the time it's like a 7 star, so like it's
yep.
eventually 2.5. Like
I agree.
yeah. Moving on.
Yeah.
Key barrier. Oh gosh, shed
Oh,
spells, guys. Gosh, shed
this
spells.
card's actually kind of nuts.
No, I actually think that okay, so like so first let's go through the card. 2 energy, 1 power, spell key barrier, reaction, choose a unit, prevent the next 7 damage that would be dealt with this turn. Opponents can assign an extra combat damage to kill it. Traditionally in card games, I know you said you haven't played a ton of Magic. I have, fortunately or unfortunately, played a ton of Magic. And I played plenty of other card games as well. Traditionally, preventing 3 damage or saving 3 health on a thing is not worth a card. This card prevents a lot more than that, and this game is very unique in that preventing damage does a lot more than just stop your unit from dying. It maintains tempo. It can potentially score points. This card is offensive and defensive. It's got reaction, the good word. I think this card is one of the best yellow cards in the set. I think yellow's a little lacking in the set for the record, but I think this is easily one of the better ones.
Oh yeah, it's on like punch first levels of like it just makes you know how like
It's so annoying. Yeah,
when you play
like
against orange and they
mhm.
have one up, you have to always fear punch first. I think Chi Barrier is just it's this card. The more I play with this card, the more I continue to be impressed with it. This card is great.
The yellow decks still have a lot of trouble getting ahead, but this is another card that feeds into the yellow thing of like once I'm ahead, I'm staying ahead. It's
Yeah,
so hard to win a combat against this card. And what this card really says is your opponent just has to win 2 combats against you. And that's asking a lot.
like being
Um
able to protect like your Shens or your like buy and stuff like is
oh
so good.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Your Galio dude, the dude protecting like his tank unit is the most annoying person. Like this
I've
is
been like
one of the
in
only reasons why
Ambessa.
Shen's ability is relevant is this card. Like um
Like, there's also one of the reasons why I think Mbessa is so strong.
super reasonable. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
Like
Yeah.
protecting, imagine like being able to protect all the your units that you want to or like this is basically just is protection against everything, dude.
Imagine your 7 my Mbessas at a battlefield and your opponent's like, alright, I'm gonna attack it with an Elder Dragon. And you're like, okay, key barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
She very stops it.
you wanna trade, dog? Like you
Not
good?
even that.
Yeah.
It's like it stops the ping damage
Yeah,
on it too.
absolutely. Yeah. No, this card has all kinds of utility. I think this card is really, really good. I'm gonna give this card a 4 out of 5. I don't think it's quite a 5. I think part of that might be that it's in yellow, and yellow's a little bit lacking right now. But I think this card is extremely powerful for like what is essentially a combat trick.
I will give it a 5 because I think it's the second best yellow card in the game, or not in the game, in the set.
Okay, for sure. I can respect that opinion. Let's move on to the next
There's
one.
another card in here that I rate very highly in yellow in order.
Curious to see if we agree for sure. Next we have Shen, leader of the Kinku Order. This is 6 energy, 2 power. For a 7 might unit, it has shield, and when I hold, if there is exactly one other unit I control here, score 1 point. Um,
You
seems
remember I said
bad.
that there's another card that I
No
rate very
way.
highly. It's not this.
Oh, okay. I was, I was about to be
it
like, dude, I
is
need a new
definitely
co-host. Like, get
it
me.
is definitely not this.
Hey, look at it this way. It survives an Embessa though. Survives the Embessa trigger. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay,
very
yeah.
important.
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
I
This card is
it's
what were they thinking with
it's not
Shen? I don't.
it's not that far off. I think honestly, if this card had one more might or one less power cost, we could talk about it. But like
If they gave it, it needed one more like keyword to like deflect.
the real problem is, in my opinion, the overarching problem with the Shen deck, and I think I discussed this a little bit last video, is that every deck that's good in this game needs like some amount of 4s and 5s out of 5s in the deck list, and Shen's entire list is 3s and 2s. Like, in terms of like card rating, like it's just a bunch of
Yeah.
medium, and there's very little very good cards that are like unique to Shen. And this is one of them. Like this card is very unique to Shen. It's very Shen E, but it's just not good.
There
I
is one card in yellow that's coming up that I think is like Shen's saving grace, but
okay,
I'll talk about that when we cross that
sure,
bridge.
sure. For now, given this one a 2 out of 5. I think this one
Yeah.
is not a card we're trying to play. We have Lacerate, a spell, 2 energy, 1 power. Um, choose a unit if it's empowered, disempower it, then kill it if it has 3 or less might. I don't think this card. Oh, Flow for 4 energy and 2 power. I don't think this card's good. But I could easily be wrong about that. Have you played with this one at all?
I just Call the Week is just better.
Okay, okay, yeah, that I believe. I'm gonna call this a 2 out of 5 and move on. I don't think that
Yeah.
changes my mind about this card necessarily.
Mhm.
I will say, if there's like some unit in the future that's uniquely broken when it's empowered, and when it's not empowered, it has like less than 3 might, I could see this card seeing play. But for now, I'm gonna
There's
assume this
just
card is
so
not good
much
enough.
restrictions on it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when they print the card that says "I fill all the lacerate restrictions," and some dude goes in his binder and goes like, "I'm the only
Oh
person on
God.
Earth with 3 lacerates."
Yeah.
Good for that guy. But until then, this card is probably not very good. Um, Next we've got Reluctant Leader. This is 4 might, 1 power for or sorry, 4 energy, 1 power for a 3 might unit. When you play another unit, give me +2 this turn. This card is atrocious.
Yep. You can just give it a one and go next.
1 out of 5. Kennen, Keeper of the Balance. 3 energy, 2 might. Hidden. When you play me or I attack, you may pay 2 to stun a unit. While there's a stunned enemy unit here, I have +2. I think this card is like. I think this card has potential. I think the other Kennen is like more obviously powerful, but I think this card has like some amount of utility that I think is like fairly decent, like fairly well hidden and pretty good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the decks that want to play it, I think it gives it a big boost.
Yeah.
Like Leona,
Oh, Leona for
Leona loves
sure.
seeing this card.
Hmm.
I think Shen also loves seeing this card.
Could see Shen playing this card for sure. It's.
I don't see it being played in its own deck, unfortunately, in
I
Kennen itself.
I agree. I haven't quite figured out what the Kennen deck is doing yet, but I don't think it's this. But it
Yeah.
is a card that definitely has like some utility and power to it. Like that, it's a
Mhm.
lot of text for like if you're not paying for its classic cost, you pay for hidden, and then you pay 2, you stun a unit, and you get 4 might. Like that's a
Mhm.
lot going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially for one single card.
if you think that Vi is really strong, you'll like this card a lot too.
Yeah, and I think we
You
can
wouldn't be
all
able to
agree
hit it,
Vi is a strong
stun.
card with a bad deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Glowstone. Uh, this card is funny. I haven't figured out if this card is like good, but it is funny. 2 energy for a gear. It has Empower for 2 power. You can disempower it and exhaust it. Choose a player. They gain control of this and recall it. At the end of your turn, you kill this and deal 5 to all units you control. So basically, you're trying to tax your opponent out of the game and play hot potato.
Pretty
Um,
much, yeah.
I think this card is like has some amount of potential, but it's super duper well designed in a way where it can't ever realistically get out of hand. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too
Um,
slow.
it's too slow. Empower for exactly 2 energy means you're never getting tempo on your, or you're never getting mana advantage on your opponents. Um, Usually the decks that are playing this can afford to have it pass back to them and pop. And in order to mitigate that, they've said, hey, if you're going to do that, then you're going to just be on the same amount of energy, or same amount of energy next turn. And I think that's what makes this card like kind of unplayable. But it is extremely funny. I would still give it a one
It
out
is.
of five though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have Dragon Form. 3 energy, choose a unit. Its base might becomes 5 this turn, and it has flow for 3. I think this card just isn't good enough. I would give this card. I could see this card seeing like limited play, and like maybe somebody wants to play it in their token deck to just give their 1 might unit +4. I'm still
This
giving it a
fantastic
2 out
in
of 5.
Fiora.
Huh?
This card's fantastic in Fiora.
Is it fantastic in Fiora?
Yeah, I think this card is really good in Fiora.
I feel like Fiora's pretty good at getting the procs without having to play this card.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But I see
mean,
what you
I
mean. Like,
played
it
it
does
a lot.
match the
I played it
Fiora
a
card.
lot of.
Sure. I mean,
Has
it
some good results.
flow is nice.
Yeah.
It's just for me, this card is not nice enough. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. How about yourself?
Yeah, I wouldn't give it anything higher than that
Okay.
either.
Okay. I know what I think about this card, but I would love to hear your thoughts. This is 2 energy, 1 might. Unit, Disciple of Shen, hidden. I have shield 3 while I'm at a battlefield with exactly 1 other unit you control. In other words, it has +3 when it's defending with another unit. What do you think about this card?
I think this card's okay.
I think this card should have been what Shen was. Like straight up. I think one of the Shen legends should have just been this card. And it would be really, really okay. Like, I think even above average. Like, the first the first 2 energy champion being exactly this card would have been worth talking about. But because of the way that the deck works and the way that this card works, like, I don't think it's necessarily good enough.
Yeah.
I think it is doing a lot though.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
I think it helps, but it's just I think there's just better cards.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would give this a 2 out of 5, but I do think we should have thought about making this the champion unit for Shen. I know that sounds weird, considering I'm only giving it a 2 out of 5. I'm excited to see the first 2 energy champion unit they make, and I think this like very easily could have been it, while staying on theme and doing what the deck kind of wants you to do. You know what I mean? Moving on. We have Masa, Crashing Thunder. It is 4 energy for 4 might. Unit. You may pay an additional order rune as an additional cost to play me. When you play me, if you paid the additional cost, stun an enemy unit on the battlefield. I think this card is like limited chaff plus.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't play it. Like, I kind of want to give it a 2.5 because I think it's kind of a beating in limited, actually. Even though this isn't a limited rating, like, I think this card does stuff. I just don't think it does enough stuff. I think it could see play in like some worse decks, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why I want to give it a 2.5 and not a 2. It's just that it won't be in any of the good decks, at least anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Moving on. Solari Sunhawk. This is a 3 energy unit with 3 might. It has Empower for 2 energy. While it's empowered, it has +1 might and Deflect 2. Your opponents may pay 2 energy or 2 might or bleh, 2 power to choose it with a spell or ability. Um, I don't think this card is good enough. I think this is another limited card. Your thoughts?
I played this card in Ivern, and I like
Oh,
it there,
sure.
but outside of that, I don't I find a place for this card anywhere else.
I will be honest, I forgot this card had the Ivern tag. And is therefore probably okay in that deck. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree
Yeah, because
otherwise.
then with Ivern and his bush, it goes up to with it becomes a 5 with deflect too. It's
Yeah,
pretty significant for a
that's
3 drop.
no for sure. I actually unironically agree with you there. But outside of the Ivern deck, and let me say this, I also don't know if that pushes the Ivern deck over the top.
It boosts it up. I honestly think it's a good enough deck to win like your local Nexus Knights
if
and top 8 like a skirmish. But anything outside of that, I think needs a little bit more help.
all right, well, what do you think you'd rate this card then?
I would give it like a 2.5 just because it's very limited in its scope.
You have also persuaded me to give it a 2.5 just because of the Ivern thing. Otherwise, I think I would have given it a 2. But you're right. It is a bird. It is powerful in the I Need Birds deck. But I'm just not sure the I Need Birds deck is powerful enough to
Deflect
warrant
2
it.
is significant.
Oh, Deflect 2
It's
is
pretty good.
unkillable. Like,
Yeah.
Deflect 2 is I'm beating this thing in combat. I'm not targeting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this
This is the one.
card
This is the
is
one. 3
my
energy.
saving grace for Shen.
All right. 3
Yeah,
energy, 3
this
might.
card is my saving grace for Shen.
Oh, it just has ambush. Oh, this card's great. This card's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
this is literally like the hit. Like you just play your Shen, and they think they're so. A lot of the play pattern, right, is you
Hmm.
put the Shen on the battlefield, and your opponent thinks that they're. You pass to your opponent,
Hmm.
and then your opponent like does things, right?
Hmm.
And then whatever, right, on their last, they tap out to play like their last spell or last effect or whatever,
Hmm.
and then you
And you
just
just flash it in.
flash this guy in.
Yeah.
You just flash it in, and you're like, oh, they thought that, and then they can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things that players in this game have, or something I noticed early, I'm not sure a lot of players have necessarily noticed, and I'm not saying there's none, but like some players have not noticed that you are routinely able to accidentally time walk your opponents in this game. And I think this is going to teach some players how to time walk their opponents properly, if that makes any sense. Like, sometimes you're just allowed to skip your opponent's turn if they passed you with open mana, and learning how to do that in a proper way is important.
Yeah, like there's some use cases where I've done it with Targon's Peak with this card, and
Sure, yeah.
like they'll trigger Targon's Peak, play out their hand, and
Yeah.
then on trigger of it at the end of the turn, just flash us in, and then score the final point, and then I'm like at 5 or 6, right?
Yeah.
Hold Shen, or you'll get the hold off Shen, and then you could just win off there.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally reasonable. Um, I would still only give this card a 3 out of 5.
Oh
I
yeah,
think there's a
I,
lot
I
of
don't. I'm not saying this card is amazing, but
yeah,
this card helps Shen so more than I thought it did.
yeah, that's super fair. But I think this is a playable card. I think almost every card with ambush. I think you said this last
Yeah.
video. You got to think about it. Like you got to consider it.
Any card with ambush is such a strong. Ambush is like one of the strongest. Like if we were to do a ranking on all the keywords, I think like deflect would be like tier 1.
Hmm.
I think ambush would be like right there with right top 3 keywords. In
I
the
think
game,
I
for
think
sure.
ambush is just definitively also tier 1. Like I think it's a very very good
Yeah.
keyword. Moving on to the next card, we have Hungry Wolf. It is 4 energy, 4 might. For 1 power, you can ready me and give me +1 this turn. Use only if you choose an enemy unit this turn and only once each turn. Limited,
Cool.
yeah, 2 out of 5, limited card.
Yeah. There's so
Uh,
much restrictions on it.
yeah,
Like if it just said
ready me,
pay
give me
one, ready
+1.
me, and give me +1, it's fine.
I mean,
But
we might actually play that card. The yellow accelerate cards are not easy to come by. Like,
they're not. The
yeah.
only good is Jin Zhao and what's her name, Corveza, which
Oh my
yeah.
god. If that's how low we're stooping to call a card good in this color, it's absurd. We have Noxian Emissary up next. This is a 2 energy unit with 2 might. It has empower for 1 energy and 1 power. When it's empowered as a death knell, you when it dies, you get 2 1 might recruit unit tokens to your base. I I don't think this card is good enough.
I don't think so either.
I'm pretty sure that there's just better cards at this cost with Death Knell in the LeBlanc deck already, basically. Maybe they cost 3 is the issue, but this card costs 3 to get the Death Knell, so I'm just not... I wouldn't bother. 2 out of 5, move on?
Yep.
Alright. Auroch General. This is a 5 energy unit with 5 might. It has empower for 3 energy and 1 power. While it's empowered, your units that are empowered have +2. This card is 1 word away from being potentially good. Gonna give it a 1 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think it encourages you to play bad cards in a color that does not support them well. But if it didn't have that second instance where it said the units have to be empowered, we could think about this card.
Yeah.
And I think we could think pretty hard about this card.
Like, you're slapping a... Yeah, it has to... It's just too... It's too narrow.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
It has good stats. 5 for 5. It's
Yeah.
not bad. But it's just...
Going to 7 for 8 is just not enough either, though, too. Like, that's another thing, right? Is that, like, when you empower it, it's now below curve, which is really messed up. Yeah, and there's just not enough good empower units, I think, in this color to make us want to play this card. But I could be wrong. Maybe. I doubt it. 1 out of 5.
Yeah, we can move on.
Alright, Decree of Unity. 2 energy, 1 power. Spell. Kill an enemy chaos unit or gear. I think this card's good. I think it's just good.
It's just good.
Yeah, I would give this a 3 out of 5 sideboard card.
I think this out of the 6, right? There's 6 of them.
Yes.
I think this is probably like the worst one being red.
Yes,
I would
easily.
put
But like not close being red. Like there's a huge gap between 5 and 6.
It's still usable.
Yeah.
But like I still think the other 4 are a lot stronger.
Yeah. I will still pack this in a lot of yellow sideboards. I think there's enough purple just in general to bother playing this card. I think the biggest knock against it is that most of the purple decks are getting a lot of mileage out of their purple spells, not much mileage out of their purple units and gear, though.
Yeah.
But they still exist, and they're still probably worth thinking about.
I just think that just Cold a Week is just better overall.
The biggest issue with a lot of the yellow removal spells has always been that Cold a Week is just the best one, right? Like, it's hard to play a lot of other cards when you should start with 3 copies of Cold a Week and then think about playing the other 2 copies of Cold a Week that costs 5 energy and 2 power. Like,
and like the biggest threat in purple is Baron, and it can't kill Baron while Cole can. So that's why it's just like
kind of.
I would give it a 2.5.
I'm the more I talk about this card, the more I'm going to go down to a 2. Actually, I'm just going to give this a 2. But it's still a sideboard card. Like, it's still a card you should think about. Escape Greyback. This is a 3 energy unit that has 3 might. Empower, kill a friendly unit. While it's empowered, it has +2. I actually think this card has a lot of potential. Specifically because there's 0 cost to kill a friendly unit. It's not about the fact that it has empowered +2 might, whatever.
Yeah, I just realized this is baited hook, huh?
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Like in the LeBlanc deck, I think you want this card. Like, you just want to
I meant like the image is like baited.
No, the image is also baited hook.
Yeah, okay.
But it's also baited hook.
Oh.
Like,
it's like a worse. It's what's the Viego sword?
Yeah,
Bork, yeah, Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay energy for it.
You don't have to pay energy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think this card is, again, pretty specific niche, which is why I'm only going to give it a 2 out of 5. But I think it could easily be a 3 out of 5 in the future if you really need the ability to kill your own units. The fact that it's not repeatable is kind of a big deal. But, like, in the LeBlanc deck, I think this card is, like, very potentially playable. Like, you might honestly just be happy with this as your turn 1 play on the draw. And then your turn 2 is, like, play something you want to die, escape Greyback, kill your opponent's thing at a battlefield because it has 5 might now, and, like, we're just chilling. Like, you can even just play your champion and go, like, I'm just going to draw 2 and make this thing a 5 might. Like, that being said, still...
Like, also, like, very, like... I mean, I don't think you would do it this way, but probably not. This might be too thin, but you conquer with LeBlanc play this, and then you could kill your to give it plus. I don't know. Nah, that sounds terrible. Actually.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, and I think that's probably too many moving parts. But the fact that you have options like that kind of speaks to like
Yeah.
how wide the
Definitely like a
free.
5 might unit early that you can drop potentially going second is pretty significant though,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. There are decks that legitimately want to be able to kill their own units right now, and like, and I mean this. I have won against LeBlanc decks multiple times because they can't find good ways to get rid of their own stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that being said, because it's niche enough, I'm still gonna give this card a 2 out of 5. But it's like a real strong 2 out of 5. It's a 2 out of 5 with hope, you know. Next card we've got Fallen Feline. This card is a cat, important, 2 energy, 1 power, for a 3 might unit. When you play me, name a spell. While I'm at a battlefield, opponents can't play spells with that name. This is definitely a card design that has taken inspiration from Magic the Gathering and other card games like it. We call these like Nevermore effects or Finkel effects, Meddling Mage effects. I don't think they're as powerful in this game because spells are like relatively narrow, but it is a high might unit. It is a cat, and there are spells that Ivan really, really cares about because it really can't deal with board wipe. So I actually think this card is like quite playable on that deck. And then as we move on in the future, we'll see more play as more powerful spells are developed. What are your
Yep.
thoughts?
Yeah, I think this card's solid.
Uh,
It's not the for a 2 drop with 3 might. I mean, obviously it has the power cost, but
mhm.
um, this card gets better the more game knowledge you have, and I'm all for it. I'm all for rewarding people with game knowledge,
I
or
think,
with like more who put the reps in the game.
yeah, I think I'm giving this card a 3.5 out of 5, and I think it could easily be a 4 in the future. I think right now there's just not enough good spells to name.
I think we're banking a little bit more on its potential, but as of right now, I think like 3 is fine.
Okay, for sure. I respect that. Next card we have. Oh, this is a really interesting one. We have Kale Justified, a 3 might unit. It has Empower for three energy. It can be empowered up to 3 times. I have +2 might for each time I'm empowered. And once it's empowered 3 times, it gains Deflect 3 and Ganking. What do you
This
think
is
about this card? Because I have
favorite.
not solved this one.
Well, remember when I said like there's like or what you call it was number 2? This is my favorite
Really?
order card of the game. Yeah, this card is
Okay.
so good. I think this card is so good. It works so well with Mbessa because like you could just you level her up 3. You could put 3 empowers on her and
Mm-hmm.
trigger Mbessa
Okay,
a lot of
okay.
different ways. And like it's not even like once per turn, right?
No.
You can also just get to a point where you can just there's a battlefield that reduces and power by 1,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can get her to level 3 off
Mm-hmm.
of just like 6 energy,
Sure.
and then at that point she just becomes a 9 with a deflect 3 and ganking. She kind of just takes over the game.
I am lower on this card. I just think it's a little bit
Okay,
too much
that's fine.
investment. And I'm not sure she fits particularly well in any deck. This seems like a generic card to me, and there's not many generic yellow decks right now. I think that a lot of the context around this card is bad enough to where I want to give it a 3, but I think it has potential, which is why it's going to stay at a 3 and not like a 2. Like, I think this card is at a really good energy cost, like on base. I think champion unit, important text for when we eventually get the Kale card. And I
Oh,
do
for
think
sure,
there's something to be
absolutely.
said for like there being reasonable enough in power enablers to where this card could be online faster than maybe it looks on the face. You know what I mean? But I do think it requires like a lot of investment. And you're gonna be really sad whenever this thing is empowered twice and dies.
Yeah, it's just when this card hits level 3, it feels so satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And she kind of, like I said, she kind of just runs over the game.
sure.
Like, uh, she has to get there, of course, but I think this card is really fun. Like, it's really strong and really fun to play,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, that's what Riftbound's all about, right? So that's why I rate it a little
No,
higher.
this
I'm not
game
saying
is about
it's
winning
like a
games.
5 out of 5.
I'm
Okay,
here for Elo. Shout out
okay, okay,
ELOShowdown.net, the only website
okay,
I have bookmarked on my phone.
okay.
No, but I do think this card is actually like I think this card is fun. not that we've talked about a lot of fun, honestly, but like this card is fun in a way that not many cards in the game have been fun so far. Like,
and it feels rewarding to play.
oh,
Like getting her to
super
3 is
rewarding.
so rewarding.
Watching her just like battlefield every turn is like, that's got to be sick, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Until then, though, I'm still giving this card a 3. What are you rating this card?
I give it a 4.5.
Okay, respect. Wow, that's really high. That might be our biggest delta so far, other than maybe like one or two.
Biggest difference, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because I think you haven't played with it.
I haven't.
Seen it.
No, you're right.
I think like when you do, you'll be like, okay, this card actually is kind of cool.
I think I'm gonna star-cross this card at 2 empowers, and I'm gonna post it on Instagram, and I'm gonna at you.
That's fair. But if I'm playing against purple and I know, you know what I mean, like
yeah, of course.
I will make sure I play it at the opportune time and not let it, like, you know, it's like it's up to the player to.
You might do that, but somebody else is not gonna do that, and that guy's getting posted on Twitter. Like,
of course, yeah.
Okay, moving on. We have Sacred Protector. This is a 4 energy 1 power unit. It has 6 might. It says, I don't deal combat damage unless I'm at a battlefield with exactly one other unit you control. I'm going to say something about this card. First of all, I'll lead with the rating again. I think this card's a 2 out of 5. But I do think that if Shen is good, it's because we underrated this card, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's like Galio.
It is like Galio. And I think the reason why I say that is because if the Shen deck is good, it's because there's 6 Galios in it.
And you just can't conquer the battlefield.
Yeah,
you just, like beat them over.
It's like a Master Yi thing.
This
the
card
Shen
with
deck,
the Chi barrier is fantastic.
Oh,
you just
yeah.
Put tank on it, and then your Shen is protected, and then you always have, it has its use cases, but like it's thin.
I'm saying that almost exactly the reason Shen will be good is like it's kind of like a lower floor, higher ceiling Master Yi, where like you're gonna go first, you play your 2-drop, you conquer whatever battlefield you can, and then you slam either of your Galios, and your opponent never gets to do anything about it. And then you spend the rest of
you put down Shen, then
you
put down Ari, and just score multiple points.
You spend literally the rest of the game either figuring out how to get 2 points a turn, or figuring out how to conquer the other battlefield, and you don't think about the first one because it's got 12 might at it.
That's fair.
I'm gonna be real with you. I still don't think the Shen deck is good, but there's a couple cards in the Shen deck that I think will show up in the best of list, and this is one of the ones I'm almost certain is going to show up in the best of list. It's just so large. That being said, I think this card is like honestly a 3 out of 5. The Shen deck is made up of 2s and 3s. I think this is one of the better cards. I just don't think there's any game breakers, and I don't think this card is game breaking. I think it's a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, for a 4 might, for a 4 energy, even though costing 1 power, 6 is significant. I'll give it a 2.5.
Yeah, you when you lead, this card's just so broken. It's obviously way worse on the draw, but what are you gonna do? You're on the draw anyways. You're already losing. Like,
you're playing Shen. You're already losing.
Yeah, true. That part.
Kidding.
I'm not.
Don't come after me.
Just add me on Twitter. I need the engagement. 6 energy, 6 might, unit, Horns of the Dragon, tank.
You could just give it
0 out of 10, dog. 0 out of 10. 0.
Yeah. And our last card.
Yeah.
Keeper of the. I wish it was a better card, but it is what it is.
I think next time I'll spend more time on the order and maybe set it up in a little bit more cinematic of a way. But right now I'm just happy to be done. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
5 energy, 1 power, 5 might. Unit Shurima, Keeper of the Law, cost 2 power and 1 might, or 1 power. 2 energy, 1 power less if you control a battlefield with exactly 2 units. Doesn't work. Yeah, doesn't work. Isn't the fact that I can't reasonably play this on turn 2 unless I'm committing 2 drops to the same battlefield means that I'm not into it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's all I have to say about that. And then thank you for showing up, Rodney. I appreciate it. 2 days out of the week we spent up until 2:30 a.m. recording these videos.
I
Uh,
know,
so
but we're about to start our pre-riffs this weekend. Comic Con's in full effect. It's gonna
I'm
be a fun next few days.
I have to reinstall DaVinci Resolve to cut all these into shorts so that I can make a bunch of short form content for engagement. Comic Con in a
Sounds
couple
good. I was gonna
days.
have my team work on it too.
Yeah. But I think I think I like the set a lot. I think this small set, for a small set especially, there's a lot of very interesting cards. I care a lot less about power and a lot more about how unique and how fun some of the cards are, and the set has a ton of them.
Yeah.
So like,
There's a lot of doom around this set, but
mhm,
I think the set is a lot of fun. Like don't listen to
the Doomers,
to
yeah.
what everyone else says. Yeah.
This game is so good right now. Go to your local
Yeah.
game store, play your pre-riffs, have as much fun as you can, and like honestly, I think the competitive balance of this game is so good right now. I think these cards are going to lend to that and help build upon it. And I'm really looking forward to playing a lot of these cards in the next few months, especially at Regional Championship LA with my boy Rodney here.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to say before we sign off?
No, that was all. Hope you guys all have fun at your pre-riffs. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Manifesting signatures for all of you guys.
Don't forget to follow Rodney. He should be at Ritualo on almost all platforms. This is Kazi Baker with the Logic Knot and Rodney, aka Ritualo, signing off. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.